Hello, everybody! Woo! Woo! I'm sorry to keep you waiting there. We had a little bit of tech issues with one of our players, but we got it all figured out. Everything is good. Welcome to session 2 of the Phalai campaign. Super stoked to be continuing this story. Thank you to all the players for giving me their afternoon, nights this evening. Quick things off the bat. Subscribers, please consider being a subscriber to the Twitch channel. It helps us do the things that we do, giving you all fun fantasy D&D content all day, all night. Also, we will be giving away some fun D&D items during the break. Those are to subscribers only. So you'll be able to win a dice set of your choice, dice tray, dice holder, all that fun stuff. Quickly just go around and have everyone introduce themselves and who they're playing, and then we'll dive right into this thing. So we'll start with Haley.
Hi, I am Haley, otherwise known as Red Queen Hales on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, basically everywhere. I am going to be playing my Dragonborn sorceress, Margot, who has a little bit of a fiery personality and just as much bark as she does bite. So, let's have some fun.
Nailed it. Ozzy.
G'day guys, my name's Oliver, known as the Aussie Warlock on Twitch, Aussie Warlock on YouTube, Instagram, all the other ones, and I will be playing the Warforged Paladin known as Galahad 5. I'm going to hit things and probably get exploded again.
Wouldn't have it any other way. And Kanoa.
Hey guys, my name's Kanoa Daddy. I'm also a Twitch streamer for many a different reason apart from D&D. But I will be playing our snaky paladin, Zerekenthenbeth. He is very excited to meet you and make friends. Very good, yes.
Awesome. And then Lindsay.
Hey, I'm Lindsay. I go by Yerpy11 on basically all social media platforms, including TikTok, and I make the shiny, sparkly math rocks that makes Dungeons & Dragons and all other tabletop role-playing games work. And I'm playing Jules Hendricks, a tiefling warlock, so I'm very excited for tonight.
Love the dice. Please keep making more. Do not stop.
Shut up.
And then up next, Goat. Super Goat.
Why, yes. Hello. I am the Super Goat, also known as Moose and Mustafa. You can find me on Twitch and TikTok, and I will be playing Felon Rock today, and I'm very excited.
Okay, awesome. And then we got, last but not least, Corso.
Hey everybody, I'm D&D Corso. I am playing Paladin Nebula today. You can find me D&D Corso on Twitch, TikTok, and pretty much everywhere else.
Okay, awesome. And now we got the intros out of the way. Won't keep anyone waiting much more. So let's dive into our session 2 of the Phalai.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Go. Let's go. Okay, 1 second. No, my music is being weird. What is happening? Come back.
I don't want background, I want.
1 second, guys. Just my music just decided to go all kinds of wonky.
In honor of Red Queen, this will be my new background. There we go.
Yes!
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, that's spicy. I love it. 10 out of 10.
Don't come for my aesthetic though. I will actually play.
I don't know, man. I've got the
did my
red
hair
lights and everything. It's too late
I
now.
have the red room.
I have red hair too now. Fight me.
Let's go.
I have a pink hoodie. I don't know.
It's escalated very quickly.
I'm pretty sure that puts a stake in it.
Okay, so last we left off, the party having gathered in the industrial war city of Hupperduke, mainly populated by gnomes. It's known for making a lot of the weapons and warfare for the Dwendalian Empire. The group had been brought here for all their different various reasons, looking a little low on coin, having traveled for a long time, looking to make a quick buck here and there. They saw some posters around town that there were some volunteers needed for the Citizens Watch, a little volunteer that comes with a little bit of cash job just to help maintain things around Hupperduke. It's known to be a party city. Things get a little wild and during the nighttime after work's done. So they were inscripted by Achaidh Shutterstone, who is the leader of the Citizens Watch, the top recruiter. After doing a little bit of an interview process, decided, fuck it, you're good enough. Let's just start. Led you down the road through the various taverns and people, gnomes partying on all the sides of the streets. Led you to a out-of-nowhere prison break where a giant, huge female Goliath was running full speed away from a giant explosion, followed by 5 or 6 hooded kobolds. You decided to intervene. The Goliath had made her escape, but you decided to take on the kobolds, obliterating them to smithereens. Not on purpose, though, because as you discovered, crit happened from Galahad 5, exposing that there were actual bombs attached to these kobolds, exploding in all directions. It was hard for you to pick up any evidence left over from these kobolds. You then met up with Watchmaster Bram Westrite, who is the leader of the Watch Guard, the Crown's Guard here in Hupperduke. You went to Gearhole Prison to examine the prison break and discover any clues you could have that might help you to lead to where the Goliath could have gone or what caused the explosion, as Watchmaster Bram had kind of inducted you into kind of, top level Citizens Watch guards to help investigate the prison break. You found a bit of broken pieces of bronze metal. You found a weird metallic crab-looking device. Noticed that there were a couple of key explosion points inside, a little hole up top of the prison cell. And after the guards kind of came back to you, kind of conversed with them, and they had some ideas and thoughts of what these things could mean. You had also found some muddy red footprints for the kobolds that didn't match kind of the area at all. So a lot of things to discover and kind of think about where your next move could be. But the night was kind of getting a bit late. And instead of just kind of carrying on and trying your best to kind of figure out where they could have gone, you decided to meet up with Achaidh Shutterstone because he had offered you a place to stay for the night, a inn, a hostel of sorts where the Citizens Watch members could stay up for the night if they needed a space, called the Cobblepot Inn and Tavern. So when we last left off, you were just leaving Gearhole Prison and making your way towards the Cobblepot Inn.
Yes. Well, friends, it's been a day. Maybe we can get some rest. And I know we'd mentioned we can go out in the morning, maybe hit the herbalist and maybe see the master maker, Clef Tinkertop. Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
That sounds good. That sounds like a good idea.
Let's just remember at this point, Nebula, as a changeling, currently looks like Brahm.
That's correct. Yes, Nebula had used some very clever disguise skills to make him look like Watchmaster Bram coming to Gearhole Prison. So
Yeah, I feel like real quick we might want to resolve that because Nebula has not said anything just yet, but he hasn't changed his clothing. He just switched to look like Brahm, but fully is wearing the same clothing. I think we said that Kanoa's character, Zera, would have noticed that, but otherwise, do my teammates think they're with Brahm right now?
Jules would have also noticed that you are still in the same clothing because she's been keeping an eye on everybody very closely this whole time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bram, are you asking Zera if you are Bram?
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to maybe get the weird stuff out of the way.
He says,
Just in case.
As you guys are kind of going on your own, away from the Gearhole Prison, so none other guards are kind of in view at this point, kind of just subtly having your own conversations.
I am not sure what you mean by the weird stuff, Bram, but I can assure you, you will have to at least get me a few drinks before I am prepared to listen.
That's good enough for me.
Okay.
And this is him just imitating Brahm's voice the best he recalls.
So you are still in your Brahm out disguise, walking through Hupperduke.
Yeah.
But in your Nebula clothes.
Because we were just around the guards and I wouldn't have dropped that.
No, but now you've been walking away and you're kind of going through the different streets and cobblestone steps and everything around the city. There are a lot of places you can just go duck into an alleyway somewhere if you wanted to change back. But as you're doing this, you notice because you're kind of leaving like a hot spotted area with guards kind of coming to and fro and trying to leave that. But it's nighttime here in Hupperduke. There's people drinking in the streets and a lot of crowds kind of going to and fro. Kind of think Assassin's Creed, you know what I mean? Like there's ways that you can kind of easily kind of drift in and out of there. But as you are going down the steps, people are like waving at you and being like bowing their head in respect and things like that. So
okay, yeah, Nebula doesn't like that in this instance. That's a little too much attention now that we're not using it to our advantage. And he's gonna say, Zara, just a moment. Would you come here? I think and he bends down to tie his shoe, getting sort of, if the party's moving in a group, he's in the middle, he's ducked down, and he transforms back into the human form he was using when he first got here. And then stands back up. Well, to new work.
Welcome.
Nebula, I cannot believe it. Would not believe this Brahm was just with us, and it seems as if he reached down and he is gone. Can anyone really believe this happened?
Where did he go?
Whoa.
You know what
I
I
was just
think?
gonna look at you and just be like, huh? What?
I think that Brahm is dressing up like Nebula, and he looks at Nebula and says, I still see you, Brahm.
No, Margot's just wondering why anybody in their right mind would choose to be portrayed as a human.
That's fair. Right, and Margot doesn't know that it's Nebula just yet.
yeah, because so far throughout this story, you haven't revealed your true form yet. Because when you came to the meeting, you were disguised as a human in the waiting room. So no one's really seen your true face or anything. And so far, they've seen you as this human form. Then the Watchmaster showed up in your clothes. Some of them didn't pick on it right away, and some of them are kind of like, why is he wearing, wait, this is Nebula's clothes. What the fuck? Kind of like, things are kind of happening like a bit faster than them to pick up on. And now that you've all kind of leading the party, you changed your human form all of a sudden. So safe to say, probably at this point, if you catch up with the party, they're like, what the fuck? Like, they're just kind of a little suspect as to like, who the fuck is this guy?
Who's this dude? Yeah, okay.
I've been failing to catch up. My bad.
Yeah.
I was gonna just get out of here. Okay.
So you guys see Nebula and Zara kind of come back to you, catch up with you, as Zara says that, like, oh my god, look at this! He just came out of nowhere.
Whoa. Where'd you go?
You missed the prison. We had a huge fight. I think now.
He didn't miss anything.
You know what? Yeah. You can fill me in later.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying now I think we should at least get a cut maybe of your cut. We did more work now.
Nebula, to that comment about taking his cut of money, is going to alter his like vocal cords to mimic the voice of the guy paying us. Well, I don't think that's what I said the deal was. Back to normal. Anyways.
Voice like that? That's crazy.
I know. This Brahm is a very talented man.
Yeah. Very, very. Okay.
So as you guys are kind of making your way through the streets, just, I don't know, just kind of going with it. Like, I think a few of you at this point can kind of, you're not really sure what Nebula is, but you're getting the sense that, like, all right, someone's very good at disguises. And some of you are kind of maybe even annoyed, being like, okay, dude, you get it. You're very proud of your fucking skills. All right. Ugh.
We put voice skills up on fridge later.
I'd like that.
They're going through the various crowds and kind of shuffling through. You eventually kind of notice going through all these various buildings that are all kind of like squished and huddled together. You see a very sort of thin building, giant bronze copper pot on top of it. Doesn't say inn or anything. It's just like a sign with a giant pot on it. And if the windows are kind of like one window has been smashed, but like repaired, like really shoddily. The other one has like kind of like an impact hit, like someone like slammed up against it, but not fully broken in. And then the door itself, this is like a pretty okay door. It looks a little bit splintered, has kind of a stained glass in front of it that kind of blocks the view from looking completely in. But from what you can tell, this is probably the place.
There we'll go and door open for everybody as he walks in.
All right, go open the door handle, and the door handle comes off.
He will gently place the door handle down on the ground and see if just pushing the door or pulling it from like the little hole where the door handle was opens or closes the door.
So you go in, open the door. You kind of go in, and this is like, imagine kind of D&D's version of like, not a fun dive bar, but like the dive bar that like you don't really want to be in. You just look around and it's just crappy inside. There's like cobwebs, stains. There's like 2 or 3 other people drinking in here. Like 2 people are talking to each other, and there's just like a lone patron over here, another lone patron over there, just kind of quiet, talking to themselves. Whatever you had kind of in your minds about how Purdue could provide, because it is somewhat of a wealthy looking town, being like the industrial city for Dundalani Empire, whatever expectations you had just got very much lowered. And you see Abby there by himself, just like finishing a giant, huge pint of ale, and he just slams it down. Oh, hello there, friend. You found your way here. Glad to see you.
I see the quality of the people matches the quality of the bar.
Apparently
Do not
so.
worry, Margot. Places like this significantly increase in quality with the more drinks that you have.
Oh, well, that's amazing then. And I'll just go ahead and see that drink that he just put down, and I'll grab that and be like, thank you for keeping this warm for me. And I'll start drinking that. We'll see if it gets any better around here.
That one, you can have that one if you want. You're probably going to want something a bit fresher. I've been drinking that for quite some time. Did you all want some ale? Have you guys had a hard night? What's going on? Everyone good?
Yes, please.
Ale would be great. Yes, we had some fun nights. You know, it was you remember the explosion, right? It only got more from there. And I'm telling you, I think you said before, if we do more work, we get paid more. So just get ready. That tab is starting to accumulate. So it's wonderful.
If you're serving the city of Hapaduke, I've done my job correctly. Let me go and find you some ale really quick. Just 1 second. He kind of gets up from his seat.
Am I the only one who thinks he smells a little odd? Or is it just this entire tavern?
It's the tavern!
It's definitely
Onions.
the tavern.
It smells like very, very stale barley.
I think that's beer.
Nebula leans down to Jules and just kind of says, I'd agree with that sentiment. It says that,
Would it kill them would it kill them to light a candle?
And he says, I do not know if the fumes are flammable. It very well might.
Oh.
So he goes over and starts pouring you guys some drinks. It's only like 2 taps, really. Like, you just probably surmise that's like a lager and a pale ale kind of place. That one's probably empty. Starts pouring out from the second one, filling up all these big, huge pints of ale, collects some, puts them on a tray. Okay, here you go. And kind of wobbles over the drink trays, kind of and manages to kind of balance it all into place. Here you go. Thanks for choosing the Cobblestone Inn. Really appreciate it. Puts him down.
Margot leans over to Galahad and she's like, if he spills it on me, I will set him on fire.
No.
That's fair.
Can you at least don't set people on fire inside the place? We don't know if it's all flammable. Maybe you can set them out on fire outside. So I don't want to burn it.
Everything in
is
here
the guy who hired us the guy who is currently welcoming us to the inn as if it is his? Is that what's going down right now? Okay, I'm just making sure that we're...
you haven't asked him directly, but he is definitely like, you don't notice a bartender, you don't notice the server. It is just him.
I'll go ahead and make that an in-game comment that Nebula is just going to say out loud. Is the guy who hired us, the guy who's, well, is that what's happening here?
That makes sense why we would get free housing. That way he doesn't have to pay for it. You know?
Yes, but that makes me more concerned about the likelihood of our payment.
That's fair. That's fair.
But we were already paid something, yes?
We were paid.
Yeah, kind of checks you out a little bit. He says, something that we must split to cover drinks, perhaps?
And
Galahad's
Nebula reaches into his bag to pull out that bag of gold that was given at the beginning. Yeah, and we'll quickly divvy that up now.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much it was, to be honest.
I'm going to slowly lean over and take a tankard of ale.
You go over, take a tankard of ale. He just put it down. He is very inebriated. Like, he was like very inebriated. Like, he was a little bit tipsy before at the beginning of when you met him, but now he's like visibly just like hiccuping and like barely standing up.
Margot like reaches over to take her tankard and she's like, I'll pass.
That's okay.
I'm going to take an experimental sip.
You go to take a sip of the ale through your mouth slit.
Well, when you put it like that.
Yum, yum, yum. This is what humans do. So you go and drink of your ale. Does it? I don't even know. Like, I'm not even sure what it kind of, if you're able to even taste things.
What if Galahad like built a sensor system in his mouth based on the idea of a bunch of other human minds or creature minds? 9 out of 10 would enjoy this. Like,
you go to drink the tankard of ale, and like some of it's kind of pouring down Galahad's like mouth and neck. And anyone else would kind of react to this, just feeling the cold liquid kind of on their skin. But because he doesn't have any skin, he just thinks he's perfectly drinking it. Just look.
Wow, this is awful.
It wets your gears there, doesn't it? You know, it just keeps them going. Just so they
I don't have. Never mind.
So did you, Corso, did you want to actually like divvy up some money or?
Yeah. So what was the number of the bag? Because we just took it straight off Avi, and I put it in my pocket so we could get to work. What was the number in the bag when I count it?
I think it was 50 gold.
Okay. And there are 6 of us.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we could do some math here where everyone's gonna get 8 pieces and there are 2 left.
And then Bram Bram gave you some money too, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was pretty sure
Sorry,
Bram
I thought you were
did.
talking about, because you lifted some money off of Abdi, didn't you? Or was it Bram?
Bram had a whole ass satchel, as I recall.
Yeah.
Right.
Money!
I think Bram gave you 250 gold.
He rode up after we were fighting skins, and when we explained what was going on, he decided to give us money.
Because he was going to offer you 500 to help ascertain her, 250 now.
And then money up front, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, cool. Well, then everyone gets 50 gold.
Cool.
Nice.
Now that I'm living like a king, I would like to go buy a castle.
Made of Lego.
Yes, of course.
A sand castle in particular. Beach episode 2, boys. That's all we're doing.
Yes.
I think we've earned it.
Place. We're going to the Menagerie Coast. Woo!
Let's go.
Galahad in a mankini.
I feel a breeze. So you guys kind of divvying up your money. He's put down the drinks for you, kind of waddles back again as if he has like a bunch of keys on a chain. All right, so here's the keys to your rooms. Lays them down. each for you. They're all upstairs. They're literally just from 1 to 6. They have numbers on the front of them. Make yourselves comfortable. They're all ready for you. And then in the morning, we can carry on whatever the fuck happened earlier today.
Thank you.
Oh, that's yes, very much. Okay.
Margot's just gonna reach across and grab her key.
Yeah, so will Jules.
You reach across the key, and like they're rusty. Like as soon as you go to grab one, the like rust kind of goes onto your hands. Like they haven't been used in quite some time.
So she like holds it up and she goes, "This doesn't bode well for the quality of the room."
Now look, I know. I couldn't help but overhear. You've got maybe some concerns about the establishment. Everything is A-okay. I built this place myself because the people like yourselves coming over, needing some money, wanting to help out the city of Huppaduke. There's a lot of places in Huppaduke are a little expensive, so I wanted to offer, a nice place to the people of the likes of you to just hang your hat and have a good night. And so, yes, it's not the top tier environment you may be used to, but there is a bed. You will get a good night's sleep, I promise you.
You're very considerate.
Oh yes, a real live bed.
He says, I do not want a live one, my friend, but an inanimate one will do.
Oh, okay, the live one's a bit extra, but we can talk about that later.
If he treats this in as well as he treats his body, I'm concerned.
Harsh. Okay. And then he kind of like stumbles off to kind of help out pay up.
She does not mean it, my friend. every prickly comment is just a little way of them trying to.
I definitely mean it. I very crudely mean it, Zara.
See, there it is, another one. Another very nice thing they meant to say.
No, you see, Zara. No, this is with all intents and purposes of saying this place is a wreck.
Translation. We cannot thank you enough for having us in your finest.
I'm not thanking him, Zara. I'm not.
As you guys are bickering, the other two, like 3 or 4 patrons that are in here, just like put their gold down and just kind of leave in an exhausted huff. Like you've just kind of disturbed their quiet little, very non-associative hole.
Galahad will give them a little wave as they go.
And look, they leave money on the table for us. This is wonderful place.
I don't. This is not for us, but it's sure.
It can be for us. There's nothing stopping us. They left it.
As long as he walks away, yes. And if somebody would like to distract our patron friend, it can definitely be ours. Yes.
Or I could just politely tell him to turn around, as Zara puts it.
You all really do take jokes that I take and keep going. It's even funnier the further you go. Everybody up in the room.
Oh, yes. So do you actually want to go and try to steal the money that the patrons have left?
Pardon?
Do you guys actually want to try to steal the money that the patrons have left?
Zara goes up to room number 1 if that key is available. And
you're going to go up to your room, Zara? Okay. So Zara's going up to the room. Phelan, did you actually want to steal money, or are you going to leave it there?
I'm going to try and swipe money off of one of the tables.
Okay. So as Zara kind of takes his key and just says, I'm going to go check out my room, and starts walking up the very creaky stairs. We'll resolve you try to steal the money. So the 2 out of the 4 sort of patrons that were there, the 3 of them kind of got up and left, just kind of slapped their mind down, just like, God damn it, just kind of saying little swears into their mouths. He's finished just kind of paying up with the last patron, kind of taking his drinks and kind of clearing the table, and he's going over to the other. He's about to go over to the other table to take the money that's left there, and then Hales, you wanted to get in the way there.
I definitely want to help cause a distraction because at this point, why not?
Okay.
So at this point, all she's going to do is just kind of stand up and just kind of walk in the way. Like obviously just owning the place. She's like, hello, I'm your new window. How's it going? Just kind of walk in the path and just not even care that she's currently blocking his view.
And
Okay, so
as she's doing that also, I'm going to just I'm gonna try and move my hands as subtly as I can to cast Minor Illusion around Margot as well, around her head, and just have small butterflies flying over her head, and see if that gets him any more distracted.
That's aesthetic right there.
Does Margot know this? Does Margot see this? Or,
how about this?
Yeah.
Roll perception against sleight of hand.
Okay.
You watch out. You start bringing up flames and butterflies around Margot, you're going to end up with some war stories.
Oh no!
Maybe the quality of the ale increases if I continue to drink it. Nope.
Unless your dice is cursed, I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 13.
Ooh.
Okay, I don't notice the butterflies. I'm just imagine this mean mug
So
just gently gliding by as butterflies are dancing around her head.
So you walk up to kind of cut off Albie as he goes over to the other 3 tables. He's kind of finished collecting the coin and cups from one, starts waddling over to the adjacent table, and you just kind of slide in front of him. Yes. And as he look you've got this kind of mean stare, and as you're staying there, these ethereal butterflies just kind of just start fluttering around you like a moth to the flame, and he kind of is looking at your eyes and just goes,
Well, what are you looking at? What?
I'm not sure. I had some other things today that might just be kicking in.
Are you mad? What?
Mad?
What are you looking at?
Are you mad?
I
You
asked
look
you.
kind of mad right now.
I am mad if you do not answer this question.
Oh, well.
What do you see? What are you looking at? My horns? Yes, I have them. What are you
Jesus.
looking at?
Oh God. I'm seeing butterflies. I don't know if there's really butterflies or not, to quite be honest.
Can she smell his breath, and she's just under the impression that he's just really...
Well, you're pretty tall and he's down here. He's like a gnome, so he's probably coming up to your weight, probably your waist hip area. So unless you're but he is looking up and talking to you, so you could probably smell a bit of his very alcoholic breath on him.
She just looks in his eyes, and she's just what is going on with this? Just not even understanding that there's monarchs and moths just tilting around her head.
It's just this whole thing of I'm gonna be intimidating and try to be scary to him. It's just been what are you look? You're to cause a distraction, just not the one that you thought you were going to tell.
Yeah, no, when you're looking when you think you look like a G.I. Joe, but it turns out you're Barbie's dancing princess.
So at this point, I'll get Phelan roll stealth.
Oh,
Which you'll roll a billion, I'm sure.
Oh snap! I rolled above a 10 finally. Plus an 8. That's wonderful. That'll be a 26, I believe.
Okay.
26. Oh yeah. So as this conversation is going, you're able to just very, very quietly just kind of suss down and just get in the way of Margot's back, kind of blocking the view. And those butterflies, did the trick. So you just go in there and roll a sleight of hand for me really quick.
Ooh, perfect. Oh no. Still not too bad. That's a 5 plus 6 for an 11.
11, just be the DC. So you go over and swipe the coins, and one is just about to teeter. As you kind of quickly grabbed it and moved over to went one table, grabbed it, fine. Went over to the second table, swiped it, but as you swiped it, one coin kind of skittered off the table. It was slowly falling down, and Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, catching that last bead of sweat, you just go catch it before it lands on the ground. You just sneakily crouch back to your table.
Oh, what you talking about?
So Margot, out of the corner of her eye, sees him sneaking off. She leans over and grabs keys, and she just kind of looks at him, looks him down, and just goes, "You might want to get yourself checked out."
You know, I hear that a lot.
I wonder why. Actually, I don't wonder. It's quite obvious. You're a lunatic. And she walks off.
Yeah. You give someone a free place to stay, and this is what you get. Okay, fine. Just kind of mutters to himself.
I don't require a bed, but I'm extremely grateful you provided us a place to stay.
Oh, thank you, Tin Man. I very much appreciate it. You know, it's hard work to keep this place up all by yourself, you know.
Mm-hmm. I love what you've done with the place. It looks...
It's indeed look, yes. No, I think that was the whole sentence. It's just saying that it looks, you know, it has a certain look and appeal to it, you know? You feel?
So,
let's have a look.
So Margot has headed up to a room currently. Zara has headed up to a room currently.
Mm-hmm.
Did Phelan also head up immediately, or?
Right now, they just kind of like went back to his seat, and then at the end of the distraction, walked up the stairs to follow Zara. So the rest of you are kind of still in these seats, or did you all just want to kind of like, all right, we're done with this, and walk up to the rooms as well?
If everybody else is done, Jules will go up, but for now, Jules is entertained.
Okay.
I don't suppose you have a straw or something? I seem to be spilling a lot of this lovely ale.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, I can check. Just 1 second. And steps behind the counter. Just hear a lot of clanging and banging. Just like throwing things around. It just finds this metal, what looks like a long metal straw. Not sure what it's for, or like if it's a straw for drinks, just straw-like thing. He's like, will this work?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Look at that. This is amazing. This is an establishment of repute. You don't use, one-use plastics. That's great. I love it. Wonderful.
It's recyclable.
All right, so we'll go back to Zara as he had gone up the stairs there first. So you go up these very creaky steps up to this top floor, and it's just a very narrow wooden hallway with, again, doors with like a nail. Looks like just a nail. So it went bam and just put a little sign of like a number resting on top of it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 6 on one side and 6 on the other. You go up to your room. This thing looks like the shittiest hostel room you've ever seen. Like an apartment in the most broke-ass part of New York. It is like super thin and slender. Like there's just enough for like a single bed and like not even a table beside it, but like a table at the foot of it and like a hook on the other end of that to put up like a coat or something. And that's it.
But how's the Wi-Fi?
Zara he'll just be getting ready for bed. He'll just kind of go through a ritual, close his door, lock it back up. He's going to is there a window in the room?
No.
Perfect. That's so much easier to deal with. He's going to take that little table, kind of push it over in front of the door. Cozy up in bed, set his weapon to his side on the ground. Same with his shield. He sets it right above that. And then takes off his armor and gets some sweet shut-eye.
Sweet shut-eye. Okay, right away. Hit in the hay. You're able to put down your sword and your shield kind of at the foot of the bed as there's not a lot of room on either side of it.
Just some of that from a laying position would be easy to grab. That's all.
So if you're doing that, you probably have to sleep backwards.
Entirely fine. He has no qualms with rearranging this room.
Yeah, no problem. So you're kind of like where the foot of the bed would be in the headboard. You just kind of like reverse it, so you're able to just grab your stuff very quickly as needed. The rest of you, or Margot, going up to your room.
Margot like opens hers, and she just kind of like basically just slowly opens the door, takes like 2 steps in, not understanding that there's still magical butterflies dancing around her head. And she basically just kicks open the door, takes a look around, and just slowly like drops her head, and she just kind of whispers under her breath, "I've pillaged mangers. that smell and look better than this room.
That's dark. So as you go to open your door, same thing. You turn the key, crack, like has that kind of wincing sound as the lock comes unlocked. Open up the door. A bit of dust from the top of the door kind of just like crumbles onto your shoulder. Dust it off. Go inside, and it's very much the same makeup as Zara's room. Just this thin, very narrow room that fits a single bed, no room on either side. Little bedside table at the foot of the bed, and a little hook for a bag or a coat or something like that.
Yeah, all she's gonna do is literally just walk over and just like hastily just like sit down, like just flop herself, like just sit straight onto the bed, fully expecting clouds of dust to just lift up out of it. She just goes, I don't know what I expected.
Your bed though has not like been, it looks like it wasn't like cleaned yet from whoever was here before. Like you're kind of looking over there, it looks like some of the sheets had been kind of like rustled around, like it's not perfectly tucked in. Zara's room has actually had like clean sheets, and the bed had been tucked in with a single pillow, but yours is just, the sheets are all bundled everywhere. Pillow doesn't have a pillowcase yet. No stains though, which is a plus. No stains on it.
She looks around in the corner of the room. Does the corner of the room look cleaner than the bed?
Well, the corner of the room has like a giant spider's nest in there with a big web in it. But that home and that setup looks a bit more organized and cleanly than what you're in currently.
She just like slowly like sets like her hand a little bit on fire, and she's like, I could fix this all in one go. I could do it. I could. And I feel like that's it. Like, it's just like a cut screen, and you just like, you don't know what she's going to do or where she's going to sleep. At this point, she just might wake up with like her hair and bed head, looking really haggard. Maybe she made friends with a spider and like one of them's in her horns. Like, maybe she just stayed awake all night just out of sheer fucking spite.
Just sit cross-legged.
She's just like sitting cross-legged, like looking at the spider like, you fucking come near me. I'll roast you and your 8,000 babies.
So the rest of you downstairs, kind of sitting there, as soon as you kind of see Margot go up, the straw's been given to Galad 5. And then you kind of see Abby kind of go over to the other two tables. Oh, what? Did you see those people pay?
No.
No?
No, I did not.
They're usually good customers.
Maybe they paid you already earlier. Maybe they paid before they drank. You know, so you said some of your things were starting to kick in, right? Maybe you just forgot.
And he makes a face that's not, because it makes a face and an appearance similar to when Galahad 5 looks at something and just doesn't know what's going on or can't compute something. He just kind of looks up for a while.
My passive expression?
Exactly. Looks up for a while. Huh, it's possible. Roll deception.
Okay. Here we go. Come on, buddy. Okay, not too shabby. That's 13 plus 5 for an 18.
Awesome. Yeah, he's just kind of thinking to himself, well, that makes sense. I really got to find a better hobby. Okay. It's okay. He just kind of muttered to himself, like, I can make up for this. I can do that. So fine. I'll figure it out. Your rooms are upstairs. If you need anything, just holler. My room is on the other end, on the right-hand side, room number 12. So just come find me if you need anything.
Sounds great. Thank you.
No problem.
I'll try the rest of my drink.
Puts his glasses back behind the bar and just shuffles his way back up to his room.
Well, friends, I'm going to be retiring for the night, so I will see you in the morning.
Good night.
Good night.
Sounds like a plan.
And I'll head up to my room as well.
Okay. So you go up to your room. So the keys that you have, Zara had 1, Margot had 2, Cuillin, you have 3, Galahad 4, Nebula 5, and and Hendrik, you have 6.
Okay.
So do you all kind of go up at the same time, or is it kind of just one after the other?
I think it's important that there's a key switch. Galahad cannot have 4. Galahad 5 needs to have 5.
Galahad's 5.
Nebula will have 4. That's fine.
Switch it up. Galahad's room number 5 key. Nebula.
Galahad will wait until everyone else goes to bed. Like whatever's happening, I'll wait until the end, and he's just gonna keep sitting there with his sippy straw until he finishes his ale.
I was kind of hoping you'd try to steal it.
The straw?
No, the 5 key. No, I want the 5 key. But yeah, no, Galahad going to room 5, Super Phelan 3. So as you guys kind of all like pretty much at the same time go up to your rooms down the hallway, each putting your keys in.
I'll go last, and I saw that everyone, like the stairs are super creaky. I kind of want to see if I can like tiptoe and find the non-creaky spots, just not to disturb anyone. Can I attempt that?
Sure, roll stealth check.
All right.
Autobots roll out.
Through the staircase, through the alleyways, oh, tiptoe.
Oh no.
That's a 1.
A 1?
I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick. The clap on my metal ass cheek has woken up everyone in the tavern. Oops.
So everyone kind of goes up the stairs one after the other. The stairs, as they go up, there's 2 little banisters leading up to the top floor, and Galahad 5 kind of just waits around because he's like,
You're going in dust.
he knows how heavy his metal frame is, and he's trying to be polite. It's late at night. He kind of goes up, puts one hand on a banister, one hand on the other banister, one foot on that first step, lightly, kind of putting some of his weight on the other banister. No squeak. But as soon as you put your weight on that foot to put up on your second foot, you bust both banisters and your foot goes through the other stair.
Oh no. Why does this keep happening?
Jules is gonna just kind of glance at Galahad 5 and be like, Are you all right?
No.
You're just holding both banisters with both your hands. And if Margot and Zara, if you were asleep at this point, you usually heard like from downstairs.
There's a rustle that comes from Zara's room before the door flies open with his sword drawn, and he comes out. He says, "Stop fighting! I will defend this establishment." He says, "Oh, gal, are we destroying this place?"
Margot comes out with a single spider like dangling off one of her horns that she doesn't notice, and she's like, "Did I hear destroy this place?"
He says, "Yes, I expected it to be Margot if it was to be destroyed."
It was an accident. I'm sorry.
We can make it a non-accident. I'm just saying that's entirely possible. At this point, I have had more than enough.
Galahad 5 simply slipped through the floorboards a little bit.
Oh.
I doubt
I expect it to be so brittle. I hope it's not going to be mad at me.
The stairs.
Hold on, can Margot like reach out her hand and like just to like yank him up? Just be like, come on.
Sure, make a strength check.
Oh,
I won't resist.
Well, your dummy thick body is stuck in there. It's gonna need.
He is a heavy Warforged dude.
Gonna need that dummy thick pull.
That is a 5.
So you're
Poor
like,
ass.
reach out a hand, you're like, come on, Galahad, I'll help you up. He's like, all right. Come up, you just go, oh shit. You just realize how heavy this big boy is. It just goes, knee hits into another stair, hand goes through another stair. Not the third one, but like the fourth one up.
So if Galahad went last, that means that Nebula would be up the stairs. So Nebula would go down and try to lend a hand as well.
so I do not know what you all are doing. If we leave Galahad exactly where they are, we will actually be able to get down the steps tomorrow.
I guess I could just go to sleep right here.
Galahad, do you have like a power off function, or can you just close your metal eyes and be done?
Oh, okay.
No, that's not okay.
And I activate Sentry's Rest and go offline immediately.
Very good, my friend. Good night. As soon as he shuts off Zero closes his door. Good night, everyone.
Just hear a toon 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 toon. This little like low hum that you kind of hear from his kind of like internal workings. Just
It's the Windows shutdown sound.
exactly. It just goes.
I'm
And it's
personally
like silent.
conflicted because, like, this is robot abuse, but Jules wouldn't do anything about this. So,
You just see like one knee like busted into the stair, hand through a whole stair up to like the elbow joint, and then like an arm just touching the top of the stairs, and he's just stuck that way, like a bad like outline chalk drawing of someone who was murdered, just like stuck like this.
This is what the gnome meant when we were getting put down.
Okay, and through all of this, you're kind of like, there's lots of crash banging, rocking around, yet no one seems to be coming out of the other rooms. There's nobody coming outside to like check in on anything. So with that kind of happening, kind of maybe surmise that you guys are the only ones here right now.
personally
Okay.
unsurprising.
I agree with her sentiment.
Well, I suppose that'll be the night for us then. We have
Considering
a bodyguard standing in the stairway.
Considering I don't think very many people could climb over him, I feel like there's not much we can do.
And then Nebula's going to head to room 4.
You're here forever.
Hold on, can I snag his room 5 key off of him?
He had it in his hand as he was like trying to get up to the top of the stairs. You can take it from him if you want.
Yes, I take room 5.
Make a strength check because he is a robot shut off, clenched around the key.
Oh dear God.
I see everything that is happening. Just
18.
FYI.
18, yeah. It's a little hard at first. Like the ultimate form of rigor mortis is just like a metal hand clutched around this object, be able to kind of like.
So she like takes the key and like pats his head. She's like, "I'll thank you for this later."
Takes the key. Bing, bing, bing. So you go to his room instead.
Oh, absolutely.
The second that she's in the door, you just hear.
Oh. A big rustle from Zera's room again. It comes out and a bit up, and it says, "Forgot to say, funny joke. Are you awake? Gal, are you awake?
Do you wake up?
Gal, are you awake?"
It's so Sentry's Rest is like I'm inactive, but I am 100% conscious this entire time.
Right, but if you're not giving any like visual confirmation that you're like paying attention to what he's saying, he just continues asking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Face down on the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah. Doing fine. It's probably better if I don't move anymore. I don't want to break anything.
He says, "Maybe this will lift your spirits. I thought of this while laying in moments ago. Galahad 5 has crashed. Very funny, you see." All right, good night. Have a good night. And he then closes the door.
All right, bye everybody. Bye.
Okay, so
Silence of Zera.
is everyone in their rooms right now?
So Margot went to go to Galahad's room, which is like nice, clean, made up. Go in there, stay there for the
spider
night.
broke up.
Yeah. You go to room number 4, Nebula? Or are you waiting for everyone to go to their rooms first?
I'm going to go into my room, but I am listening to everyone, whether or not they're in their rooms or not.
Okay. So you go with your key, open up your door into your room. It's empty.
Okay, there's no bed or anything?
Nothing. It seems like it just hasn't gotten around to it yet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then I want to do something as soon as I recognize that all members are in their rooms.
Okay. So you kind of you just open those doors to just like an empty space, just like still that old watered down wood around. It looks like there was like some lighter spaces in the space. Like maybe there was some stuff here, but it just been taken out recently. Like he's trying to replace it with some new furniture. But Phelan, you go to open up your room, same kind of setup, but instead yours has bunk beds.
Okay. I'm gonna take the top bunk.
Top bunk. Okay. Very surprisingly big bugbear going on the top bunk. Creaks for a minute. The supports of it might be a little bit brittle, but it seems like wait a few minutes for it to break, but it doesn't. So you seem fairly okay. Maybe just don't move around too much.
Okay. I'm gonna yell out if somebody's missing a bed. There's another one here, or we can cuddle.
Wrestling from Zara's root now. Just kidding.
And then Jules goes to your room at the end of the hallway, number 6. Open it up. Very much same as Zara's table on one side, narrow hallway, little hook on the side for a coat.
Okay. Jules is gonna get all situated and ready for bed.
So you go into your beds. At this point, Nebula, you kind of hear the doors
Okay.
close one after the
So,
other.
give me the rundown on the setup of the rooms. Are the odd numbers on one side and evens on the other, or would number 5 be connected wall to wall with number 4?
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down one hallway, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in the other hallway.
Okay. So, Nebula is going to open up the door. And did we have any creaky problems in the hallway?
No, it's just the stairs.
Okay. Nebula is going to open his door, and knowing that Margot's character has gone into 5 now, is going to quietly go to that door and wants to try and listen in just on anything strange. Just trying to listen in and get a feel for Margot's character.
Okay. Margot, would you be doing anything up at night? Have you fallen asleep already? Anything on that note?
So I imagine Margot's just basically, again, just kind of sitting at the edge of the bed, thinking to herself, like, basically in her mind, she's wondering, how long can I hold up this farce? When will this get me what I'm at? Like, when will this give me the answers I'm looking for? And if there is creaking out in the hallway, she could potentially if he makes creaking out there, I imagine her ears perk up if she could hear that.
Well, why don't we roll Corso stealth and you perception to see if you can hear his footsteps kind of coming towards your door.
Okay.
All right. So that is a 9 plus 4. So that's a 13 on stealth.
I rolled a 16 on perception.
Okay.
Ooh. So yeah, being as quiet as you can, trying to go outside the door. Margot, you do kind of just hear not creaking, but just the sort of heel toe of someone kind of very, very, very quietly. But you're just making out. It's the dead of night. There's nothing else really going on here. Galahad is fast asleep on the stairs, so there's no more crashing and banging going on.
I'm sorry.
So if she hears him right outside the door, immediately she's going to want to get up and just yank open the door as quick as possible. And then just grab him by the scruff.
Okay.
So I think Nebula would be right at the edge of the door. He wouldn't be standing in front of the doorway. He would back to the wall, just kind of listening in. So if you opened it immediately, you either wouldn't see anyone or you would just kind of see the edge of him looking in.
Can she then whip around and keep him slammed against the wall if she sees him? She definitely would take offense to the fact she's being peeped on. She wouldn't let him go.
Well, so if you you kind of just hear like muddled footsteps going outside of your place, whip onto the door. Nebula's kind of like on the, if there's a door frame here, it's kind of like on this side with your wall to it. Is that what you're saying, Corso?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's right here. So you just like open it up and kind of just feel a presence like right there. So if you want to try to like grab him, dexterity. Yeah, both of you make dexterity checks really quick.
It's only an 11.
That is a 12 for me.
Very
by
caught
one. So right away, you kind of open the door and just kind of instinctively see like a little bit of a shoulder poking out on this side. And you go to like sort of turn over to grab him, but he instinctively like moves out of the way, but you use your other hand first to kind of hold him there and then grab him by the throat and just place him up against the wall.
So she's just gonna like pin him in place and reach in and just gonna growl right in his ear. She's like, "Did nobody tell you girls don't like peeping toms?" And she's just gonna like slowly sink her like nails into the side of his neck. Be like, "Why are you outside of my door?"
And at this point, he's still in that human form. And I think now with no one else around and Margot being the only character who's seen it before, he's going to drop into actual changeling form. So slowly this human skin turns midnight black with constellation-like white speckles across, and his white spiky hair falls in front of his face as the true form of Nebula Gravicon takes shape. And he cracks his neck, even though she's holding on to him. He kind of cracks back and forth and says, "Now is that any way to talk to an old friend?"
She's just, at this point, she just sees it, feels the crack, and just like gently like hops back.
And I assume you guys are talking in hushed voices.
Yeah. She just kind of, she points at him. She goes, You disappeared. The arena, you were gone.
Well, I kind of don't have a say when that happens. I kind of get warped places and I have to figure out what I'm up to next.
Why are you here? Why were you peeping on me? You could have told me. I thought you were a disgusting human.
Well, I mean, that in and of itself is problematic in this world, I assume, but why are you here? I was warped to 2 separate locations, and each time I've run into you. It would behoove me to investigate any coincidence that appears twice when I'm teleported somewhere.
She's just gonna like lean back and just like raise her head and just like huff out of her nose. Just, why should I tell you anything of what my businesses are? You were outside of my room peeping on me. Do you think that's anything trustworthy?
Trust isn't really my problem. And Nebula will kind of
And
pull
neither
down.
kindness is mine. Do it again and I'll tear your heart out of your chest.
With that, Nebula pulls down a little bit on his leather armor that reveals that scar that's across his chest. Margot would have seen this in the Colosseum, but to anyone, because it's the first time revealing it, he'll kind of peel the glimpse of it here. Nebula has a 8-pointed crossbones brand across his chest. And he peels it down a little bit. And he says, "Orders from the boss usually make me find out what unusual thing is happening. And to me, it's very peculiar to encounter a whatever you really are in 2 separate occasions. Can you blame me for wondering if you're the job?"
So Margot's just gonna stare at him and she's just like, it's funny, the pot calling the kettle black, wondering what I am when you hide yourself all the time.
It makes work easier. But
Yeah, and I can make this very easy too if you stop asking me these questions, because you won't get an answer out of me.
perhaps I'm here to help you then. Only time shall tell me.
Then get out.
Of course. And Nebula will start heading back towards his room. and he'll like look back at Margot, and he'll wait until she enters her room.
All she's gonna do is she's gonna keep eye contact with him for a while and just let loose this like guttural, like draconic snarl. Like just like the do not test me look. You won't like what you see.
When she pushed him against the wall and while they were talking, Nebula had his hand against the wall. And I just want that to be known for a second. And then as he enters his room, he just sort of shuts the door and waits until he hears Margot's door shut. Does Margot go into her room?
Margot walks back into her room and just very like doesn't slam the door, but you feel almost like a calm fury. Just slowly closes the door and just stands with like her claws like in on the doorknob, and she just crushes it.
As soon as Nebula hears the actual clicking of the door, he finishes casting Alarm to set off a mental alarm in his head if Margot leaves her room in the night.
Okay.
That is a 30-foot, does not say visual or anything, just a 30-foot radius of a door, window, or opening. And it can be mental or audible. And I choose mental, so only Nebula will hear it in his mind.
All right. So as soon as that exchange...
supposedly catch a couple of the other rooms too in its radius, right?
No. The radius is you have 30 feet from the caster to choose a door.
Okay.
But then I can be up to a mile away and I'll know.
Just the weirdest sleepover ever.
The whole time, Galahad awake.
At the bottom of the stairs. Ooh, that's an interesting question. Galahad, I don't know what your robotic hearing distance is.
This is what I was going to go to next, was Galahad with your, this sort of, what did you call it again?
Sorry, I'll turn it up.
So Century's Rest is just how Warforged sleep. They just sort of...
Right. But as far as I know, Warforged don't really sleep.
Yeah.
So... were you listening in on them talking or not?
I wasn't trying to, but I'm at the stairs and people are like in the hallway.
Would that be our stealth versus his, or... Because you did acknowledge we were in hushed tones.
Yeah, so I'm going to have... Because if you were trying to like keep it down low and be kind of secretive, he is by the stairs near you. So I'll have you two, Margot and Corso, roll stealth. I'll have Galahad roll perception at advantage.
Ooh, at advantage. Okay, I'll have to get my other dice from Haunt.
I got a 14.
I got a 9.
9.
Give me that Galahad nat 1, please.
I mean, I haven't rolled my second dice, but it's a 19.
Oh.
Well, with advantage, he already has it.
But it's +0.
So your totals were 14 and
9.
And 9. So yeah, you two still trying to be as hushed as you could, still being like, look, I thought you said that. Like, who are you? What's going on? And still like in that hushed breath, everyone else knocked out. Galahad.
His eyes are just like
watching it.
Was able to hear you guys having those whispered conversations.
It's literally like
you don't have any idea that he was conscious.
I just imagine the little paper clip from Microsoft Word is like, click, we'll save this for later.
It's more like that situation where it's like I've been unintentionally listening in and there's no right moment to like, hey, I'm gonna just move and leave the conversation now. So I'm in it for the long haul. I'm gonna stand here and just...
Galahad's been playing with Legos in the other room while someone's yelling in the living room. Like,
why are Mommy and Daddy fighting again?
Thank you. Notification was popped up. This will have consequences.
Dice, there's one last thing I wanted to...
Galahad will remember this.
No, because you'll sort of be the one who controls it. That way I'm not like railroading that. My character, because he's got an Unearthed Arcana class and background with the Haunted one, I see I talk to spirits that no one else can see is part of my flaw.
Yep.
And so, I don't know. I figure like if we're going to bed, that would be a time to do like a check or something. When I see spirits, it's not really in my control. So either just wanted to double check that that's in your mind, or should I do like a check before bed? Is this like a place that I just like, because it's something.
So I have that in mind for various situations and things like that.
Cool.
But it's up to you if you want to roll that check, or I can tell you if any like because you see them like when they're like kind of like Sixth Sense style. Like if you're wandering around, like if they're like walking by you, you could see one.
Yeah, I see them, and so if someone died here or something, I might see one in my room or walking down the halls at like an hour when they would be active. So
correct, but you can't see them through walls or doors or anything. It's just like in your vicinity, like a normal person. Yeah. So make a perception check.
Sure. That's a nat 1. So he's very frazzled from his encounter with Margot.
Yeah. So as soon as you left that thing with Margot, again, you seem to have these instincts of like, this is the second time I've seen you. I get sent to places to take care of shit, and you're a common factor in my last 2 locations. And like maybe like inside you're like, maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe because I don't have a lot to go off of other than just being near the same person. But crazier things have happened in your past experiences and travels. So it's not out of the realm of insanity to think so. But as soon as but you also haven't had any, like you've seen Margot in action, but you yourself haven't been up against Margot. So for the fact that you like got pushed against that wall, feeling her strength, feeling that anger up close, you're like, I'm just like, oh fuck, okay, yeah.
Hold on, can I get a Galahad saying she's scary, please?
She's scary.
Galahad said that to himself when we all went into our rooms, just thinking to himself.
Yeah. So you go into your room, shut the door. When she crushed that thing as well, you just felt this kind of innate heat coming out of her room as well. That was also a bit intimidating, but
Can I have like phantom pangs and like the claw marks on his neck?
Yeah. Well, there are little cut marks on the side of the neck that kind of like trickled a little bit of blood. But again, did you want to go to your bedless room?
Yeah, I'm in my room and I'm just sleeping.
Cool.
Kevin's like, can you all just go the fuck to sleep, please?
Oh man, I love this. This RP is gold. I love it. So you finally kind of curl up and just kind of put your cloak over yourself, find a nice spot in the room, fall asleep. Galahad, again, heard all this, but you guys have no idea that he was even awake or not. But so at this point, this was like 2 a.m. or so, like 1 or 2 a.m. when that conversation was taking place. It's now around like 3:34 in the morning. Still pretty dark out, but the faintest little blue light is starting to come through the sky. But as we get closer to like around the 4:30 p.m. Marker.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Okie dokie.
I'm in danger.
Oh, so I just rolled for something that you were going to hit me with anyway.
This is just for Jules. So as you're sleeping in your very narrow corridor bed, sleep came to you pretty easily. There was a couple times where you heard a bit of, creaks and a bit of rustling outside. But again, you're just like, fuck, I just want this day to be over kind of thing. Like at that point where you're so exhausted, you just want to get some sleep. And so you're kind of going to bed and you just feel this weird feeling inside. A little bit like maybe you had that same feeling when you had too much to eat before you go to sleep. You just have this kind of a churning in the stomach that just, it's kind of hard for you to just kind of fall asleep at this point. And you're kind of like your consciousness is starting to come awake. You're kind of rustling, and then you're kind of hearing a very faint very quiet noise inside of your head.
I'm gonna sit up and just kind of think, oh, what is it? What is it now?
And as this faint voice goes from a quiet to a bit louder in a louder stance, or louder in your head, kind of getting up, and the voice is kind of getting a bit clearer. Hello? Can I talk to you for a second? Are you awake? Hello?
Evard, what is it? What do you want?
And then none of you, again, are all fast asleep, but for Juliana, Miss Hendricks, this spirit sort of comes off of her. Almost like at first, like kind of like a Casper-like ghost, like it's light, it's ethereal blue, has kind of like a faceless and shapeless form, and then just sort of takes form beside her and is sitting beside her in the bed, at the foot of the bed. And how he looks is kind of like very much like upstanding, has a big bushy mustache, kind of rotund, wearing kind of like a suit jacket, very fine slacks, of like a bowler hat up top, sitting there, has like some nice jewelry, some nice rings, very nice pocket watch sitting in the breast pocket. I just want to make sure you're doing all right and that you've got your head on straight.
And by that, I assume you mean following what I've been taught?
Well, yes, of course. I mean, we know how you truly feel about this whole journey, and trust me, it's not easy for us. It wasn't easy for us, and it's not easy for you. But I just think that you really got to think about what you're doing, and we got to get back on the proper way of doing things.
I see that. I.
What are you so scared of? It's not that big of a deal.
Fear has nothing to do with it. I know what you and the rest of the family have done for millennia is wrong and is twisted, and I refuse to be a part of it. And you know that.
Well, there's reality as you'd like to see it, and there's reality how it is, and there have been many before you that have had these notions before, but it wasn't up to them either. The ways of the many outweigh the ways of the few, and like it or not, you're a part of this. We have to keep the line going.
Keep the line going? That's all you ever say. Why? Why must we keep the line? Why is that necessary? Why is that needed? I refuse to do so.
Well, you can refuse all you want, but we're still here. You can't walk away from this.
Watch me.
And the spirit kind of like gets up from the bed, starts walking around with this sort of tail end attached to you. And just kind of the spirit's kind of looking around, and like it knows it can't touch physical things, but it's going around the room like inspecting it and like touching the side table and like touching the walls. Nice digs.
Not my first choice.
You know, we have much better facilities than this. Why you choose this life of traveling from place to place is just... Doesn't it get exhausting? Wouldn't you like to be in a much more comfortable environment where you're safe and secure, doing what you were bred and born to do, like we all were?
I was trapped in that household for the first 18 years of my life. There is no way that I will go back to being a blind follower.
I see. I can see why you think that. You have your own mind. You have your own way of doing things. You want to be independent. You don't want to follow and go down the same road that everyone has gone before. I understand that perfectly. I myself had doubts in the beginning. But great things can come when we all work together.
I think I've had enough of this. May I please return to my slumber?
Well, if you must, you must.
Right before this happens, just because of what he does, can Nebula make just like basically a vibe check? Because it's not like he sees anything, but like, would this trigger anything like in him?
Nebula's also seen, well, everybody's seen some of this during the battle because there were some spectral stuff that happened while they were fighting.
So this would be hard to determine because you are fast asleep. You can see spirits. You can, like, sensing them, though, their essence, their presence, being in that, like, dead asleep.
The only reason I say it is because his channel divinity has two things. Watcher's Will gives everybody bonuses on some stuff, but his second channel divinity is Abjure the Extraplanar. And basically, I create fear in anything that's a fiend, celestial, aberration, or elemental. And so basically, it's just a question of like, would that start activating at all? Or are we gonna, and that's fine if not, 100% fine if not.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. Like, it's hard to describe the perspective of a spirit that you're not there to witness what's going on. Mm-hmm. I will say, roll perception for me.
Yeah, because I just want to know if Nebula just feels uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable.
I will remember that ability, and it may come in use in the future.
Jules will remember that.
So yeah,
I'm very uncomfortable with the energy of Craven.
I like the idea of
that was a
more
17.
of Galahad sitting in the stairs, just kind of like hearing Jules talking to themselves. And he's like, man, this sleeping really is weird.
Galahad. How am I supposed to power down when these people won't stop talking?
But yeah, did
Every
you hear
4 or so hours,
So,
Zero
Corson,
comes
what
out
was
to
your
you
perception?
again.
17.
17. So, again, you're pretty fast asleep at this point. I will just say that during your sleep, you were pretty comfortable. You're pretty knocked out, but you just feel this slight chill. No way indicating like if there are spirits around, but there's just a bit of a draftiness in the air that you kind of just kind of shiver and just put your cloak up if that's more against you. But it's like, yeah. So going from there, Hendrix asking the spirit, "Can I sleep now?" He says, "Well, all right, but we're watching you, and we're with you always." And as he says that, you feel this slight pain in your gut, like you ate some bad chicken, just like this sharp, stinging pain, almost like an ulcer, and it, and then you got a bit of a blinding headache in one, like, and it starts to reach one temple and go to the other, like your head is kind of going into a vice almost. And this other spirit trying to force themselves out of you to say something. Do you want to let this happen or not?
Yeah, I think that she's had to do this a lot, and she gets that if she tries to fight, it's just going to get more painful. So she's just going to let that spirit appear.
So as that happens, this pain, are you all right, my child? Is everything okay? Can I? and then almost like having a crick in your neck that you just are trying to kind of crack, and you find it like your whole head just kind of goes to the side, and the spirit kind of whisks out, almost like two spectral hands are coming from your shoulder up here, and an upper torso and a head pops out, but it's not able to take full form as it's struggling to kind of find its way out of you. Don't listen to him, he's just a stupid. And then as that happens, you're just like you're trying to let it happen, but the connection is a bit too rough for you, and all of a sudden the spirits all just go back into you. And the room is silent.
Cool. You said that there's no windows or anything in this room, right?
No windows.
Okay. Is there like a window at the end of the hallway or something like that?
There's no window at all. You kind of surmise that like you didn't see any windows up here. Probably cost a lot of money to put windows in a building.
Probably, yeah. She's just gonna get up and is gonna pace the hallway for a little bit just to like distract herself, because if she's just gonna sit there for a while, just her mind is gonna race. So she's got to do something. And
these voices, by the way, are in your head.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Knowing that Galahad 5 is taking up the stairwell, she's not going to be able to step out to get any air, and that may be dangerous considering streets. So she's just going to pace the hallway for like 10 to 15 minutes and then find her way back to sleep if nothing else occurs.
Okay. Kind of get out of your room there, just trying to shake off that experience, because it's still like, there's some parts of it you're used to, some parts of it still just feel odd, and still, especially with your relationship to that whole side of your life, it still feels weird and uncomfortable. You kind of go in the hallway and kind of walking up and down, just see Galahad still on the stairwell, covering those spots. Just kind of notice him. Kind of wonder yourself, do they dream?
Do Warforged dream of electric sheep?
Exactly. But kind of pace back and forth a little bit, kind of get your bearings. Kind of looking down from the stairs to the bottom of the tavern, you kind of see some of the light kind of shining through the door, signaling that it's getting up to daytime a little bit. So you're like, fuck, I gotta get some sleep. Tomorrow's day is gonna be a big day. So then you just kind of make your way back, quietly shut the door, back to sleep. So, you come back to
Run.exe.
the following day. Sun is now up. It's like 8 a.m. New day has come. You're all just independently, again, it's very dark in your rooms, but instinctively, just from your sleep cycle, you're all kind of just waking up one at a time. Galahad, you probably being the first one to get up, are you going to stay on the stairs for a little bit so everyone can kind of make their way down, or would you have
I'm going to extract myself as carefully as possible, and I'm just going to sit patiently at one of the tables and wait for everyone else to come down.
All right, so you kind of get yourself off the stairs while the holes and cracks have gone in, go down to a table. The rest of you kind of collectively wake up. You come out of your rooms, head downstairs. All right.
Yep.
You come down.
Yeah.
Notice that Galahad is not there on the stairs anymore.
Oh, well.
But you're easily able to kind of like hop over some of the holes and things. It wasn't like, created a huge gap that you couldn't just hop down there yourselves.
I hope he's okay. Just hop down to find him.
Okay, so you go down there to the tavern floor. Pretty empty at this point. It's just Galahad sitting at a table.
Good morning, friend. How's your sleep? I hope you slept okay.
Yeah. Very uneventful. Definitely nothing happened. Very good.
Do not
Ready?
worry, my friend. I'll tell you more jokes
Today.
tomorrow night.
Oh, you have jokes. Amazing.
And he says,
I'm
"Oh,
excited.
see, I do not generally memorize them. They come to me. It is like a power, if you will."
That's a really
Best
cool
kind.
power.
And he says,
That's
yes, I know. One of the most impressive kinds of magic I would always hear back at the base.
yeah. That's very good for distractions. I love it. You, my friend, have some good powers. I like it.
Don't believe that
Yes.
comedy is an actual form of magic. I think that I would have learned about that at some point if it was.
He says, "Oh, really? Then tell me, if you will answer this for me. What is the best medicine?
Death.
His
I
hypothetical.
Spell.
His laughter, you see. I have greater healing powers than the strongest cleric."
Hmm.
One would argue some form of cure wounds or otherwise would be the greatest form of healing, but whatever you say, I will follow your lead.
Most wounds that Zera has seen, and this is coming from a soldier, have been the inside wounds.
I want to point out something right here is whenever Margot left her room, it would have triggered the alarm, and that is Nebula would have. Audie went first. Even he waited. That's a nat 20. So yeah, he waited until he heard like the movement. When Margot left the room, triggered the alarm in his head, and he's going to join the others, but he opts to do it in full form. So he has dropped the human disguise he had coming into town because he has revealed it to a party member at this point. So it does not serve him amongst them.
Okay. So you'll be kind of like everyone comes down to the tavern. You guys have a conversation. Nebula being the last person to show up. You hear footsteps coming down the hallway, down the steps. And as Nebula comes down towards you, he is in a completely different look. Dark skin, has the stars all on his face, white hair down and bangs.
At this point, Margot's nails, like she was like tapping them, like drumming them on the tip of the, like on the surface of the table. She just like grabs them and like just drags them and makes streaks.
May I make an Arcana check to see if, like, within my studies and stuff like that, I would have heard about changelings and would be able to recognize that he is one?
Sure, that'd be more of a history check.
A history. Okay, cool. I still have proficiency in that, so.
As he approaches us,
So it's 16.
16. So in your with your family lineage and the resources that have been available to you, you would have been taught about this type of race.
You said would, correct?
Yeah, you would have known that this type of race would be able to have these properties. He acts very strange, though, from a typical changeling.
Okay.
Like from what you know from your studies and everything, from what you've read about changelings, you know what I mean? Like how their culture is, how they operate. He is very different from that.
I'm just gonna give Nebula a knowing look, like, oh, I now see. I know what you are. I know what's going on here.
I do as well.
I don't.
He says, "Let me tell you."
This guy.
He stands up and he looks at Nebula and he says, "Brahm, you are the second most powerful magician at this table."
I
Just look at you. You've done it again, my friend, because he notices the same armor on you. You've done it again.
Sorry, Phelan?
I thought they all just had the same outfit, like they would all buy it at the same store. But I'm okay. That's the same. It's all Bram.
It's all Bram.
It's not Bram.
I don't
I'm-
believe it's Bram.
It's not.
No,
Hey,
I'm sorry for
he
this.
looks over it.
I am Nebula.
Is that the name that you introduced yourself as?
No, I gave you a different name. I gave you Graham was the name I introduced.
Bram.
Yeah.
It is all same person I can't mental at Trent and Mirth.
It's confusing than that. Yes, you're right.
Do not pick such complicated names for me.
You're right.
Nebula comes down and says, sorry for deceiving you all. And as this happens, the door swings open from the entrance of the tavern, and it is Audi. And he's back to wearing his usual Citizens Watch recruitment garbs, cleaned up, smells great. Doesn't smell like a walking old dive bar. Comes in here. Oh, good. You've all woken up. I trust you had all a good sleep then.
Yes, it was amazing. The top bunk in the bedroom. Oh, wonderful.
Oh, that's the best one, you know. I know some of that we're still working on getting more proper provisions for the rooms and everything. Bit of a work in progress, but I assumed that you would like it.
Wait,
you
you had a
again,
bed?
you know. What's that?
Yeah.
To Phelan, Nebula says, wait, you had a bed?
I have two of them. Yeah, one for me and one for guests, you know. Yeah.
Oh, that's small.
And that's all Nebula says about it is just, huh.
Zara looks at the neighbor and says, I don't think that's how it works, my friend.
Are you sure? It's for ease of communication, you know. Very important.
So I had a meeting with the Watchmaster Bram, and we did learn a couple of things that the Crown's God was able to ascertain about more information about what happened last night. A few strange things have been kind of happening around the city recently. A number of builders and designers complain of a growing rash of thefts, like tools, raw materials, metal ingots, and other manufacturing supplies are constantly targeted, though always in small amounts, so it's not like huge thefts, but still, it's very odd that just keeps happening.
Payment for drinks.
And we do have an idea of where Skin had gone off to. Some of the people have been ascertain that they saw a few of them running towards us, the north side of the city from where Gear Hill Prison is. So at least we have somewhat of a direction to go off of, although there wasn't much more than anyone else was able to see. But I heard that you all were able to figure out a couple of places that you might go to, some locations to knock down doors and such.
A few, yes.
Yes. A couple ideas. We might head down to the Herbalist, you know, from Lay of the Land, and we have the Left Tinkertop. Okay. Master Maker Left Tinkertop, yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to be assisting Watchmaster Bram with some of his investigations today. If you wouldn't mind just following through with anything that you found out about last night, you have all the permission in the world to ask questions, do your thing. You are the Citizens Watch, after all, the Citizens God. So I'll leave you to that. Is there anything that I could provide you before you get on with the rest of your day?
Breakfast.
Right. One second. And he kind of leaves the front door of the tavern. He's gone for like 5, 10, 15.
Well, I don't think he's coming back.
20.
I think we might just have to figure out our own breakfast. That's okay.
Yeah, after about 5 minutes, Nebula would have just been like, we can find it on the road.
Does it smell like delicious eggs and bacon in this place, or does it smell like eggs and barley?
Yeah.
It just still smells like that old stale barley, like dive bar-y smell. You didn't smell any signs of food or plates or really anything coming in here.
Nebula is going to ask the group, so who do we think is more of a morning person? The herbalist or the tinker?
I think the herbalist.
It would certainly be the
Herbalist, definitely.
Then to the flower shop we go.
All right, and it's there, guys. We're going to take our break for the evening. We're going to refill water and stretch the legs and all that kind of fun stuff. If you are a subscriber, please put into the chat the keyword, and you'll be entered to win a set of dice tray, dice holder that will announce the winner when we come back from break, and we'll send to you, Canada, USA only. But the word will be spirits.
Not Australia. Feels bad, man.
Unfortunately, we can't send stuff to Australia. It's a bit expensive. So yes, type in the word spirit in the chat, and we will come back to you in around 10 minutes or so.
Subscriber?
Be a subscriber. Subscribers only. Woo! Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around during that break. So we had 4 people enter into our little giveaway contest. 2 of them are currently playing this game, Kanoa Daddy and Super Goat, but they are subscribers. So, hey, it counts. But they have gladly relinquished their rights for a prize. And if they are chosen, they will choose who is going away with a little prize today. Gonna roll a d4. So on a 1, it'll be Kanoa Daddy. A 2, it'll be Super Goat. On a 3, it'll be Grey Wolf. And a 4, it'll be Motor Ninja Cat. So let's see what goes down. And that is a 1. Kanoa Daddy.
Well, there we go.
The ultimate choice here to make.
If you would be so kind as to give Motor Ninja Cat the winnings here, I would greatly appreciate.
Congratulations, Motor Ninja Cat. Kanoa Daddy has gifted you either a dice set of your choice, dice tray, or dice holder. So thank you guys so much for putting in those names in the chat. Really appreciate all the subscribers we can get. Thank you so very much. Okay, so back to our little story here. The party, having woken up after spending a night at the Cobblepot Inn to very questionable furnishings, decided to up on their investigation of this strange prison break. Met up with Audie Shutterstone, who gave him a couple more details on how the investigation was going, but left you up to your own devices from the 2 clues that you had found in the Gearhole prison previously, which was to go visit the Lay of the Land herbalist shop, or to check out the Master Tinkerer. So you chose to go check out the herbalist first, and you are now just on your way over there. If there's anything you'd want to kind of say or talk about on your way there, now's the time, or we can just fast forward.
What kind of herbs do you think they sell there? I know they said an herbalist. Do you think like they have like over the table herbs? Do you think we have like under the table herbs?
They sell A-list herbs.
A-list herbs. Okay. That's very nice. All right. I'm excited for this.
So,
primo herb.
Navigating
mixtures that you could find out in the desert.
Oh.
And he says, he looks at the big bugbear man, and he says, Phelan, tell me, what kind of cactus have you smoked before?
None at all.
He says, oh, you remind me if we ever head down to the southwest, southeast, anywhere to the south, if you will.
Okay.
I have something to show you, my friend.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to our southern journeys then.
All right. So navigating.
Walking towards herbalist. Yeah. Smiles, bullshits, shoots the shit, and is trying to lead away the herbalist, as he would have had a little copy of the map in his journal of Hupperduke.
Correct. Yes. Zara, having been into the tavern, actually discovered a bit of a map of Hupperduke that he was able to copy into his notes. A little crudely, kind of seeing little like smiley faces in a couple of locations and things like that, but nonetheless, very interested in topography. So I think if you look on the screen there, you might see a little map of Hupperduke actually, currently. And where you guys are going on that map, if you look over to the west side of the map, where you see kind of those bridges and little rope images trailing off there, sort of to the south of that, you'll notice a sort of a bluish location, a bluish building. That is Gearhole Prison. And you are going to the east of that into that little section over there. And you were staying just up north from the Gearhole Prison up there. So, navigating the winding streets of the Iron Lot, you find a wedge-shaped hutch of smoke-stained thatch and warped wood. A faded sign bearing the name Lay of the Land dangles above the door. Entering the shaded interior, you are greeted by all manners of smells, from pungent fungi to dried weeds to burning incense. A woman turns towards you where she eats at a corner table, her smiling mouth half filled with food, her voluminous black hair framing her face. And you're staring at a female human druid. Big glasses on her face. And as you come into the store, greets you one at a time. Ting, 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 ting. Oh, hello. How you all doing today? It's good to see you.
Yes, it's very, very nice to see you too. Look like you're having a great day. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful morning out here.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful outside. The sun is shining. Everything is A-okay.
Nebula's gonna lean over to Zara and say, I think you'll find some of the things you're looking for are definitely in supply here.
He says, you know what? When you're right, you are right, Bram. And he'll put his and he'll walk in.
Did we get a name for this herbalist?
You have not, but she introduces herself as you guys stepped in. My name is Zendasa. I'm your herbalist. I'll take care of any qualms or questions you have. And as she says that, kind of looking over at Margot and just kind of staring at the horns off the side and goes, would you look at that? And just kind of stares at them like, how do you get them so clean and polished?
I'm just going to make it... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Margot.
No, Margot's just gonna like gently just like keep her head and her horns away from her. She's just gonna be like, could she like gently like take her hand and like push her like face away?
Taking just looking up at you, Margot, and at your horns, and then you kind of pushing her face away. Like,
yeah, I'm just going to make a side note that so long as the question works in game, Nebula is one to just say things out loud like, did we get a name for the herbalist? So that was straight to you as a DM, but as soon as I realized it works, if it works, we'll say it's in game.
I'm going to assume everything you say is in game at this point on.
Just all there. Do that.
Perfect. Goes out and just starts...
And because he said that in game, it makes sense for him to follow up. So did we get a name for the herbalist? And then she introduced herself as, and I'm sorry, that was Zendasa. Wonderful. My compatriot and I were here and hired to handle a job that you might be able to help us with.
Oh, that's so? You're clean.
Well,
not a speck of dirt on you.
Not true.
She has a thing about being clean, doesn't she?
This is where Nebula's going to produce a little container from his bag. He's going to reach into his bag and pull out some of the dirt that they're looking for, that they like had off the boots, just a sample. There might be a speck of dirt. That's where you come in.
Play, baby. Play.
Okay.
Could you tell us where this came from?
Kind of just takes it from you, looks at the dirt. Where did you get this from?
Dead boots of some dead goblins. Well, kobolds, actually, my bad.
To them, like, so you picked this up in Hupperduke?
Yes. Is it not meant to be from Hupperduke?
This kind of dirt? And puts a finger in it.
Okay.
I love it.
No, this ain't any dirt found around Hupperduke. This is most likely something from farther up the mountain. Like near the volcanic caps of the Silverquill Ridge. Yeah, this kind of dirt don't really live in the city life. Takes another dip.
Does it taste good? Is that why you keep doing it?
Kind of.
Oh.
Zero will come up and say, well, now I would like some.
Gesture to you.
He gets a finger in and puts it in his mouth.
Tastes like dirt. But it tastes like really
But what
nice,
kind of dirt?
sweet.
Galahad's
Like,
gonna lean down. Oh,
as far as dirt goes, if you're someone who's tasted a lot of dirt, it has this weird, like, it tastes like dirt, but it has like a very sweet sort of taste to it. Like it doesn't have like the bitterness that you would expect from just eating like raw dirt. Like it has like a weird, like citrusy sweetness to it. It's odd. Like there's a bit of a bitterness there, but it's like, it's not what you were expecting.
Zara looks up at everyone and says, it is not worth trying, and then takes another scoop of it.
Galahad's gonna lean down to Margot and go,
Is this normal?
She's gonna lean back and she goes, this is why I don't like humans.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of where this dirt usually comes from. You won't find us anywhere in Upperdude, but
Do you know of any places where people live up there by chance? Are there any settlements closer up to the mountains, maybe?
as far as I know, no one really lives up there. I mean, there's a lot of wildlife up there, you know. You got your wolves and occasional hippogriffs and things like that.
Oh, there's hippogriffs up there. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you might want to watch out for them. They kind of hunt all day.
What? Okay.
You said,
okay.
and this is volcanic area. Yes.
Yeah, but it's long since been dormant.
Okay. All right. Well, Asa, do you sell herbs and stuff? Do you have anything more, calming, if you would? Something nice.
Calming? Well, yeah, I got some candles if you like. Got some incense, some oil, perfume.
I was thinking something, something more inhalable.
Inhalable. Got some antitoxins that'll probably kick you in the teeth pretty hard. Got some potions of healing, herbalism.
Oh. Yeah, potions of healing.
Yes, of course.
Those are nice. Those are nice. How much are you selling those for?
Those ones we're selling them for around 15 gold or so.
15 gold. Can I get one of those, please? And yeah, while you do that, do you have any how do you call it here? I'd like to smoke anything.
It's fine. Wait, let me take a look around as well. And he's gonna look specifically for like the desert cactus, any samples of that desert cactus that can possibly provide hallucinations.
Hold on. So at the mention of the volcano, you see Margot just gently like breathe in a quick breath of quick air. She goes, I'm done with this place, and just kind of walks outside the store.
Oh, give us one moment, Your Majesty, Margot.
Balin, do not worry. They must have something against potions of healing.
That's what it is. You're right.
It's something I said. I didn't mean to offend anybody.
I don't think it was.
No, but Margot generally does.
Fair enough. I think I see what you're putting down there. Okay. You were looking for a cactus of some kind?
He says, oh yes. He says, tell me, you don't happen to have a Zeracanian blue cactus, do you? He says, perhaps not as frequent to find around here, but
No.
maybe a supplier?
Not many people come in looking for that rare of a of a species, you must very much know your plant life.
He says, I have wandered from here to there. And he says, and you must find some ways to pass the days, yes, and my good friend here has never experienced such a thing.
Yeah. Well, I've got my own collection of rarities in the back. Let me see what I can do for you. And she kind of goes behind the counter. There's just like a bunch of beads that just kind of just rustle back and forth.
There's a beads wall.
Yeah,
Goes to the back.
You are my
It is just taking a minute.
The most descriptive way to tell me what this place is actually like. I image.
There are
Immediately.
smells now that you have. You know.
That was the only thing you had to say, and I was like, no, I visualize this place. I can see it.
That's the trigger. The bead wall. The bead door.
I now know everything about this place.
If you've been to one, you've been to them all. Yeah, she goes to the back for a little bit and kind of rustles around. Comes back with this big potted plant cactus. It has like these beautiful blue flowers kind of emanating out of it. Comes back. So I only have a few of these left. The only people that come looking for them tend to buy them, so I see you. And then she comes over with clippers and says, but these are hard to find, so I can chip off a little prong here for you, or I could sell you the whole plant.
I would not want to take your entire supply. Please continue to cultivate if you can. Just enough. A few days worth.
All right. She goes over and with her little cutters just takes off a big frond of the cactus, and like an oval shape with some spikes coming out of it. Comes down, and you see this really light, kind of light blue, neon milky mucus just kind of pouring, dripping from the cactus plant. And as it hits the wood surface of the table, it goes, and then
That
dissipates.
looks ominous.
Kind of like having like pop rocks in your hand. Like it's not corrosive, but as soon as it almost like get the sense that when this liquid kind of meets oxygen and hits, just this reaction kind of happens instinctively. Takes the frond and starts like wrapping it up in a cloth and puts a little bow on it, little green bow. Packaging is everything.
And I'll take it and say, yes, how much would this be?
I was going to be around 50 gold pieces for that one there.
Oh, 50 gold pieces.
Very rare plant.
He says, indeed it is. How about I make you one deal? And he says, you have but one plant. What if I give you 25 gold pieces? And the next one I come across, believe me, you can trust I'm very recognizing of these plants. I bring you back 2 cactuses in return. And he says, at most, you have lost a few weeks' growth on your plant for 25 gold. He says, but at best, I return you your investment tenfold.
Not bad at all. And there's like a couple little like one little long hair strand kind of coming out of the chin of her face. She's just kind of stroking it. Make a persuasion check.
Jesus, take the wheel. We love a good 25.
Hey!
Let's go.
Yeah, so as soon as you say that, she's like, it is hard for me to get out to that area this often. All right, sir. Got a deal.
And he will hand over 25 gold pieces. Put blue cactus in the inventory.
Now, after we figure out this prison break, our next story arc is going to be this getting cactus. Wonderful.
And he'll look at Phelan and say, at the next means to celebrate, you will find yourself truly celebrating, my friend. He says, but not until then.
Okay.
He says, everything better with anticipation.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure I live to anticipate it, so I'll take one of your feeling questions as well.
All right, no problem.
Here you go, here, 15 gold.
15 gold, sweet. Goes to the back stores.
I would also like a healing potion if that would be all right.
Oh, you do? All right. Here you go. There's one for you there. Puts one down, reaches out to the stores. All right, there you go. Another one for you there.
He's just going to go ahead and invest in one more as well while he's here.
Yeah, so 3. All
yeah,
right.
If we save 25 gold, we're going to go ahead and spend 15 more.
All right.
Galahad's gonna go join Margot outside.
Okay. So as you guys have been talking here, buying up potions, Galahad goes outside to Margot.
As soon as I have my potion, I also follow behind them.
Okay. So you guys are exchanging. Puts the potions down. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and nab one as well.
All righty-roo. It was a good day for rolls and dazzles. And then comes out. All right. It's just like very slow movements the whole entire time. Putting one down again for Nebula. So that's 4 altogether. Each paying individually, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bam, bam, bam. That's going on.
Gold, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And then as Galahad kind of is the first one to kind of leave, as you two are trying to have exchanging business, you got about a minute or so before the rest of them kind of come out and follow you.
So, everything okay, Margot?
Everything is fine. I just didn't need to hear about cactuses and plants. We learned where the dirt is. They're just wasting our time.
Oh yeah, they're totally buying drugs.
Primitive, disgusting things.
I mean, if they want to have a bit of fun, I guess that's up to them.
We came here to get a job done, not to get high.
Well, we have a lead, Silver Quill Ridge.
Now here's to hoping they get their asses out of the shop soon so we can get going and visit this place and get out as quick as possible.
At this point, Hendrix, ching, 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 open the door, joining you two, followed then by Phelan.
Z would like to walk out with an arm around Phelan, like just patting his shoulder, and he'd say, "I'm so glad we stopped here to buy drugs and not for any other reason at the time."
Margot's just gonna whip around, just like.
Wow, that's a
He says, "Margot, I can tell you need this more than anybody."
Careful! If you keep talking like that, I'll shove it in a hole it's not intended for.
He kind of leans into Phelan. He says, what do you think she is talking about? Almost every orifice you can get high with blue cactus.
What the?
Your ear, I think, is the only one that doesn't work for it, but I think otherwise, yeah, everyone, even that one, maybe.
He says, you're right, I have not considered ear. And he then looks back up at Margot. And he says, keep talking like what? This is my voice. I cannot talk any other way. He says, unless you mean the common tongue does not suit you, I can do my best to change.
So she's just gonna we know where the dirt is from. Let's get a move on.
I agree with Margot. I think that we should remain on task.
You spent enough time talking about your stupid cactus. Let's get the dirt and go.
Hey, Zara will sit down for a moment, like literally right outside the street. Say, I see. And he'll take a cross his legs, sit down, and he says, Margot, what exactly are we doing?
You're doing a very good job pushing her buttons, Zara. She's just gonna you're visibly seeing like her hands just like, and she's gonna look at Galahad and she's just gonna be like, did I not make this clear?
And he says, but please. He looks up at Jules at this point and he says, what are we doing? I mean this with seriousness. What is the purpose behind what we are doing now?
Our job? That
Yes.
we've been hired to do?
The job was what again?
To find skins.
I see. So we are to find skins and escaped convicts. And we are doing this for coin alone, yes?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's nice to know where life leads, and I don't have any direction, so trying to find that.
See,
It might just lead me to my next spot, is what I'm trying to find.
So
So, coin helps.
for about 50 gold pieces, we just remain on task, yes?
Yes, we'd like to be paid as soon as possible.
Let's put it this way. The quicker we get paid, the more time you can spend melting your brain and feeling quenched by your cactus.
Well, that does not sound too terrible, does it?
No.
And he'll stand back up and he says, well, that is all I needed to know. I only wanted to know where you stand. And he'll say, all right then, are we off to a volcano or are we off to the Dinkums?
And Margot's gonna quickly be like, the Tinkerers. And then she's like quickly jumped to it. She's like, the Tinkerers. No. I feel like there's more to investigate here than going to the volcano immediately.
We should
were
at
waiting
least talk to
until
everyone
time.
in town.
Yes, thank you, Galahad.
And with a little bit of a skip, Nebula
We'll
is
have
going
travel
to
distance
step
that
off
way.
of the edge, off the stairs, and just kind of skip right past Zara. Then off to the Tinkerers we go, just kind of spinning his bag of gold around his finger as he just starts strolling away.
You know, I kind of
Skip
like his
idea.
Thank you.
You, Zara, roll a history check.
Sure. I'm great at history.
Are you?
That was a blatant lie. Wait, yes, I got 20'd. I am great at history.
Wait,
You
Such an
know,
emotional roller coaster.
Well, I looked over, I was like, I have a +2 to history. And I looked back over, I'm like, oh, that's a nat 20.
so Zara, you had like this is for that check of when you were all talking about the cactus and orifices of where like how it is consumed. You know pretty factually that putting it in the ear gets you the best experience possible, let's say.
Yes. We're not going to say anything about that out loud.
No.
That is going to be information we don't need to share with the party. I feel like someone might get upset if we're talking about ear drugs. So,
oh really now? Who
That's
would
just
that
something for
be?
you.
I've got a creeping suspicion that someone is trying to hear about drugs in their ear.
That's just for your own sake that you just know that way.
On our way there, I would love to catch up with Zara and say, so what is your purpose here then? What are you wanting to get out of all of this?
He looks at Phelan, smiles, and he says, I was not expecting anybody to ask.
Like,
He says, if you'll forgive me, I am... he kind of motions to you as well. He says, I am not familiar with many types of people. He says, my life has been first chaotic, then very strict. And pursuing and finding what makes people happy means very much to me. I do not want to see injustice or the sought power reign. I wish to protect those who are here to smile while they can. And he says, and this is why I'm very confused. And he's trying to like kind of be out of earshot by this point of the party a bit, with just talking with Phelan, following along. And be like, this is why I'm very confused by those ahead of us who are so focused on the job. Why for? Do they think the next bit of gold is fulfilling, or is it the pursuit of power that is fulfilling? I do not understand. He says they are the ones who I see smile the least. Whereas here we are, happy.
You know, I think sometimes people just try to find some purpose, and I think it's maybe this is their way of finding purpose. You know, if you have a goal, if you have a reason to keep going through your everyday, maybe that's what they're trying to do, and maybe they're trying to find their happiness. What say you? Maybe I think we can get Margot, not by the time we find our escaped convict, but maybe I say we can have her crack at least a smile within some time with us.
Says, I certainly hope this is true. My jokes seem to have no effect.
We'll find the right one. It's okay. We'll just, if you keep throwing them out, I will just keep jotting down the reactions until you get the right joke.
We'll move it in the right way.
Yeah.
Though I must ask, do you really believe in hunting down this person? He says, for as far as I know right now, even the Tinkerer who was exiled from this place was not necessarily doing anything wrong. We don't have more than one side.
Yes. I think
and a very, very blank side at that we have been given.
I agree. I think life is not, just pure just black and white. And I'll pull out one of the coins that I took from the table yesterday, start flicking that around. Sometimes you do what brings you joy, and sometimes you do what's right. But I think what brings you joy might not bring others joy. So I'd want to at least know what our convict has done, or escaped convict has done, and why they're being chased. I don't think those in power always mean well. So it'd be nice to at least know what we are doing here. I don't want to put them back in jail for no reason.
But you heard it yourself. 50 gold coins puts a mark on your head for at least some of us. He says, those 50 gold coins could very well be back on our head. He says, and was not the first person. What this all started from was from somebody selling weapons for coin to people they were not meant to. At the end of the day, how are we any different if we are pursuing these people for coin?
That is a good point, and if it comes to it, I'm to keep somebody out from, at least this innocent person out, I'm willing to stake my life on it. But I would also think that at least some of our friends here, while the 50 gold would be fine, I'm sure we can come to some arrangements. Haggle our way out of it.
He says that I very much doubt we're going to find the innocence in anybody we come across, my friends. He says there is not a single one of us innocent.
You are right.
He says, but
well, I guess
I do not wish to hold them back too much longer.
Yes.
We're almost there.
Well, before we completely get there, I imagine, so of course, Nebula is leading the front, and I imagine Zara and Phelan are having this friendly little chat. Margot, before they leave, I assume she's just standing in front. She's just kind of gonna look behind her back until can you see a mountain ridge, basically above, careening above the rooftops and everything like that?
Yeah, so the way that Hupperdook's kind of mapped out and the way it's kind of built is that there's kind of an upper city almost and a lower city. So there's kind of where where the richer, nicer people live, and then the poor people kind of down below. So, and it's back set on this mountain ridge. This whole town is kind of coming from the backdrop of a giant mountainside, and the city is kind of wedged in front of it.
Okay, so she's gonna basically turn around, just kind of stop in her tracks. Everybody else is just walking ahead of her. She's just gonna turn around and kind of follow her eye along the ridge of the mountainside. And if anybody sees this or not, she's just gonna shudder and just kind of have like a quick breath out. And then she's slowly just gonna follow behind everybody very quietly. Like, no words. I imagine Jules and Galahad are ahead of her and everybody else is just walking, but she's definitely like at the back of the pack, just setting her own pace, just being very quiet compared to how she normally is.
I think that Jules may have seen this because she's about to, during this walk, she's going to like get close to Margot and just ask her, Zara is an odd person to me. I can't exactly grasp what he means behind his words all of the time, and it's rather confusing.
He's just confusing in general. Just all of these people, what is the point? What is making them do what they do? Is his entire life goal just drugs, getting high, and deplorable?
I wouldn't know much about other people's desires, and I think it would be interesting to know why.
If it's one thing I know about desires, they're all different. And half the time you wonder why it makes sense to them, when it just doesn't make sense at all. Trust me, when it comes to desires, maybe even mine are scattered. But I know I have them and I won't stop until I reach them.
I can understand that.
So she's just gonna basically be really quiet and forlorn, and again, she's just gonna, it's almost like she's not even looking ahead, she's just looking down at the ground, like as she's walking forward.
Okay,
Like,
Galahad, where are you at this? Because Phelan and Zara were having a chat together, so they'd be side by side. If Margot and Jules were just having one, where does that put Galahad in the order? Because Nebula's up front. Would you be right behind me, or are you back there?
I feel like I'd be right behind you at this point.
Okay, I want to make a perception check just real quick to see how much of... Okay, so I wouldn't
I'm
have...
playing with my metal straw.
Yeah, I wouldn't have heard anything then. So yeah, I would have just been at the front, and cool. I just wanted to know if I heard any of their conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of like you guys are kind of, you know, when you're like kind of traveling as a group, like whether you're going to like out of your own country or having a vacation, how some people like are really close together, or some people are just kind of like stretched out and just kind of enjoying their own views and listening to their own conversations and things like that. So that's kind of what happening here. Like you guys were all kind of left the hurler shop, and then you all kind of spaced out as you were walking. It was kind of Phelan and Zara at the back having their own conversation. Hendrix and Margot sort of in the middle there, kind of having their own conversation. And then you and Galahad kind of in front, whether you two are having your own conversation or not, or just kind of taking in the view, walking in silence, up to you. And then at some point, the dynamic of the group kind of switches from Margot kind of starting to get more behind as she's kind of just taken aback from the mountain and staying more behind, and then the rest of them kind of pushing forward.
Cool.
Okay. So, coming up. So where you're going is actually kind of far on the map from where you were. So where the Tinkerers is right now is, if you look at the map, kind of in the southeast corner of Hupperduke, almost on the opposite end of where the prison is, next to all of that greenery, those crops, sort of above from there is where you are currently headed. And as you kind of approach, you step past the outer walls of the city. The city brings you to the dusty expanse of the assembly yard. Row after row of shaded construction bays and towers flank partially built catapults, heavy cannons, and other odd experimental weaponry encircled by metal fences. Following the directions you were following to the builder's plot leads you toward high piles of metal sheeting and the sounds of incessant hammering. And they look like you're coming up to two people, and it looks like they're building kind of a prototype metallic glider of some kind. And you step up to two gnomes. One is a bit of a male, middle-aged gnome, very concentrated on working on this glider, and is just like doing things pretty quickly, degreasing some parts, just very much obsessed with his work. And then on the other side of his workbench, kind of like doing some sweeping and general organizing, is a female gnome, much younger than the middle-aged gnome, and is just kind of like handing things to this other gnome. But they seem pretty engaged in their work, so they're not necessarily like greeting you as you kind of get closer.
Well, hello.
And as you say hello, the middle-aged gnome is just not paying any attention to you, way too like into his own work at the moment. The younger woman kind of looks up at you, looks over at the middle-aged gnome. Dad, just quit being so impolite. Sorry there, everybody. My father, he gets a bit obsessed with his work. What can I help you with? Why are you here?
Well, we're on a bit of a tight schedule, and we were told that you folks might be able to lend us a hand with something.
Dad, no, that's the wrong wrench. The other one. Shut up, fine, whatever. He's kind of sorry about that. I gotta keep him on track. Continue.
And with this, Nebula is gonna use, because the way he operates, he just doesn't really have time for like nonsense.
Yeah.
And so, Heart of Darkness, he's going to look this gnome directly in the eyes and have this like held look for a moment, to where she is going to see like, this guy has seen some shit. And I'm going to let that hold for just a moment before I put in my next request.
So just so I follow.
Yeah.
The young female gnome who had just greeted you told the dad, like, this is the wrench, what are you looking for? You're going to just look at her with your cold, dead graveyard eyes and just stare into her soul.
Basically, when the Heart of Darkness,
okay.
Those who look into your eyes see that you've faced unimaginable horror, and they will help you so long as I've done no harm to them.
Okay.
Can we get a Nebula Scary from Galahad 5, please?
He's scary.
But I think with a smile, it's just sort of a moment that we hold, of just, we were told you could help us.
She just locks eyes at you for a minute. And just walks towards you. And as you're sitting there smiling, just comes up to you and hugs around your waist. And just says, I'm so sorry. So sorry.
And Nebula will lean down, because he's not like unfriendly, but will lean down and will say, well, thank you. Now, in this regards, which one of us was it I who had possession of the crab, or who had the possession of the crab? Because I know I've got the bag.
Who's got crabs?
Who's
I think I
it's not me.
Okay, so as I crouch down, as Nebula crouches down, he's going to say, well, thank you. I get that a lot. Now, would you be so kind as to tell us what this weird thing might be? And I'm like pointing over at Phelan, because Nebula would remember he has it.
Oh, yes. Let me take a look at that. Thank you. looking over this metallic weird crab thing that's kind of bit in worser wear, goes over to her dad. He's just like hasn't even raised his head up this entire time. Very much into working on this metallic glider. And goes on, hey Dad, these folks are here to ask about this. This kind of looks like your work. And he puts it down. She puts it down on the table. And as he's just like kind of put it near him, he's like cling, 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 cling. And almost like a dog smelling like a pile of meat. Just clink, clink. What? See that thing? Kind of moves the glider over, takes up the crab-like automaton. He's this scraggly middle-aged gnome with like a big beard, like a not beard, but like just really unshaven. Just looks like he's been working out something for like days and days on end. This is my work, all right. Where did you guys find this?
You can tell that from the taste? Whoa.
Do you put extra pepper on them when you make your things? That's probably why. How
That's gotta be it. Yeah.
Yes.
You gonna answer the question, or you gonna move on?
Well, we found this over at the jail, so if you made this, then I'm assuming you helped somebody escape the prison.
What exactly is it supposed to do?
This is a box seeker. Just a mechanical little friend, really. But this is. You said you found this one in a prison? This is one of my older designs. I didn't give this to anybody.
Is there anybody that you would have known who would understand the way that this works?
Yes, it looks like my designs, but by like a 5-year-old, like I would have done a much better job than this, really.
What I'm
Well,
asking,
do you have any 5-year-old children we should know about?
is there anyone potentially who maybe, perhaps, would impersonate you or be trained by you or understand your signature style?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen him in quite some time now. He hasn't been seen around here for years, but...
Will you specify exactly who him is, please?
Huron Stallmouse. He was talented but impatient. I mean, Stallmouse was prone to copying the work of others and executing it really poorly. This looks like something he might conjure up.
Do you know where he is now?
I haven't seen him in years. I just said so. In Upper Duke. He's not been around for a long time.
Did he say where he was going before he left?
I don't know. I don't care where that creep goes or comes. He's a freaking hack and he copies work, and I'm glad he's fucking gone.
Well, I don't think he is gone completely if we have found his work that has been stolen from yours around here.
I mean, if you want this piece of crap to work again, I could repair it for you if you want.
And what might that do for us?
Well, you'd have your own freaking box seeker for one, and for second, you'd pay me 15 gold for the materials and building the thing for you.
What exactly does it do? You've said, you've said what it is, but you haven't explained what it's done.
Jules makes very good points.
You see your Warforged friend over there?
Hello.
Galahad 5, yes.
Not as elegant, but an automaton in the form of an insect crab. Can climb on things, get towards things, uses its pincers to attack things. Can be pretty handy as a little buddy.
How do you control one?
You'll find out as soon as I make one for you.
You said you can fix this one. If you do fix it, can this take us to where your buddy Heron is at?
That I don't know. I mean, if I repair it, it's not like it's gonna have its old brain and just start wandering around towards its old maker. But if I can repair it, I can let it answer your calls and actions if you like.
Nebula will pull out 15 gold and place that in his hand. He'll reach that forward to hand it to... now, did we get a name of this gnome?
He hasn't said his name yet.
Okay, cool. Then in game, Nebula says, "Now, did we get a name for this gnome?"
I don't think we have yet, friend, have we?
He says, "Careful, it might be another 15 gold."
Can I get your name?
Tell you what. What did you said you were investigating some prison break thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Indeed.
I think he's lagging.
Galahad, what do you normally do this? Do you hit him? Turn him off and on again?
No, that's...
Oh, no, there's no need for hitting, okay? Look, my name is Clef, okay? It's Clef.
Master
Nice to meet you, Clef.
Nice to meet you, robot.
Did we get his daughter's name in the last time?
She said her name was Rissa.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate this, and I think we have much to think about, and good to know what.
Now, yeah, so Nebula's got the gold. He's handing it over now that he's got the name. Thank you very much, Cliff. It would be a pleasure for you to repair that for us. Now, before you do that, I'll just ask once more, perhaps a little more directly. If there were, say, 6 very heavily armed, potentially dangerous, probably definitely that one, points at the Dragonborn, points at Margot, people who were looking for someone who have skill sets that sort of match yours, but from what I hear, pale in comparison, and would like to go talk to that person and not you, where would you prefer these very agitated and potentially aggressive people to go instead of your presence? Where would be most helpful for them to go, Cliff?
He looks over to Phelan. He's talking about this.
Can Margot just be like standing aggressively, very angry next to Galahad, while like Galahad's like looking like a happy puppy?
Okay, and he kind of puts like this stout gnome out of this workshop, gets off from his metal stool, puts down the slightly broken Vox Seeker, leans over to you and says, "Look, let's get something straight here. You want to come into the assembly yard, to the builder's plot, and threaten someone who works on the weapons for the frickin' Empire, and come in here and tell me to fix your thing and make demands and stuff and expect me to be worried about my safety? Look around you." And you look around and there's just tons of workers everywhere. There's watchers, like guards all over the place. You know what this city was built on, right? You know why it's like very important. We're one of the only cities in the entire empire that has its own government that gets to say what we do to a certain extent. And you want to come here and threaten me? Why should I not just go over to my daughter Risa and say you're threatening people who build weapons for the Empire?
Well, Cliff, you could take it as a threat, or you could take it as an opportunity to get rid of people who are currently interrupting your work. So really, you can waste more of our time or send us on our way with the least likelihood that we'll be back.
If somebody is impersonating you, wouldn't you think you'd want to get rid of them, lest they damage your shining name? Nobody would love to recreate your work at a lower quality and peg it on you, now would they?
What are you talking about? There ain't no one looks like me. It's just me, Cliff.
I feel like you're
funny with jokes.
Right
I love
now.
Yeah.
By this point, Zara will walk forward and say, "Hi, my name is Zara. Very good to meet you, Cliff." And he'll offer out his hand
Okay.
to shake yours. He'll shake it kind of like excitedly. He says, "I think you are very funny." He says, "Let me try to translate for these people who are not very good at talking. Do not worry, I translate." He says, "We look for Stallmost. You have mentioned him. You know him, yes?"
Yeah, the hacker copy's working. I'm glad he's gone, that idiot.
"Yes, but not quite gone. He's still here somewhere. Maybe not here, but outside of city somewhere, sending in robots, automatons, messing with all of the things and putting bad luck on your name." He says, "Now, I do not think you need bad luck on your name." And he says, "I think you're far too funny, good worker. No need for bad luck on your name. Come, will you help us find this man?" He says, "As this one is mentioned, let me translate. 6 irritated people are not yet angry, but they very well maybe get angry when they find someone impersonating you. So, lead us to him. Tell us what you can. Point us in his direction. Or maybe find a way that we can find him. Perhaps through this little thing," and he points to the little spider automaton thing. Says, "If there is a way to send it back where it was last commanded, or maybe home, you will find us not only out of your way of work distracting you, but a hunting man who is putting bad luck on your name. Is this something we can achieve? If not, I will leave. But if it is, we'll wait just long enough."
Roll persuasion at advantage. That was good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're looking at an 18.
Okay.
I like your
I don't
funny
know how-
words,
I don't know
Magic
how many
Man.
more face palms I could give. I don't know how many more face palms I could give.
So, in mentioning, coming at it at a more nicer way, mentioning the copying of work, the getting back doing, basically saying like if this hack is still out there, he's gonna keep spreading your like pretending to copy your work and call it his own. This goes to you and goes, "Okay, look, I don't know where he is. I literally haven't seen him for years, and I don't know how much more I can say good riddance to that. I don't know where he is. If he's around, I don't effing know, okay? But these blast marks over here," and he kind of looks at the Vox Seeker that has kind of like some scorch marks on it. It's like, looks like there was some kind of explosion of some kind, I'm guessing, in this prison break.
Says yes. Says,
Is there anything else you collected from there that I can look at?
This is there were explosives placed onto coats. Yes. He says they would know more.
Metal. Would we have taken that?
I think Phelan had the medal, right?
The metal, which I already gave him, like that. Is that what you're talking about? Like the crab already is with him.
There was
No,
the
there was
medal
a
from the
medal.
crab.
It was embedded in the bed that we assumed Skins had hid behind during the blast in order to protect herself.
Yes. So maybe this, and I know we have some dirt. If that helps.
Yeah, there. He takes the bronze piece of metal, gives it a sniff.
What do you put on your metal to know it's
gonna taste it.
Well, I only know that the only sanctioned manufacturing den of blasting powder and black powder in Hoppaduke is at the Firemark facility. You're looking for things that explode, probably your best bet.
The Firemark facility. Okay.
Now this thing here, this crabby goddamn thing, is gonna take me a couple hours to do. Alright, so come back in a couple hours, I'll have it all shiny and new for you. Now will you please let me get back to work? It's just like very frustrating.
And it says,
I was
Go
just
on.
gonna say before we leave, don't exactly know if dragon fire would mean much difference. It'd be like, is there like an open forge nearby or anything along those lines?
The assembly yard has just like various people working on various projects, but there is some like just kind of junk as well, kind of bunched up together in parts, kind of like a scrap yard.
Okay, because I was gonna say if there was like an open forge that he was gonna work on the crab nearby, I was gonna offer dragon fire to just be like, would this help speed up this process?
Oh, well, you can definitely, like, the forge isn't nearby him, but you could definitely offer that if you like.
All right, at this point, I'd be like, this isn't what I offer very often, but would Dragonfire speed up this process?
Dragonfire? Yeah, that shit's hot. That shit works real good.
Then show me the way and let's get this over with.
oh, even Margot finds ways to stop on the side. He says, sometimes we stop for blue cactus, sometimes we stop for metal crab. At the end of the day, we all make stops.
So she's gonna whip around and point at Zara and basically be like, this is different.
He says, oh yes, of course. And he'll do like a regal deep bow. And he says, whatever you say makes you happy. Very different.
I believe that this actively is to help with our search, so it's still on task, unlike drugs.
So she's gonna whip around to the middle.
Do you mean cactus?
Yes.
Cactus.
And he says, cactus is not the drug, it's the plant.
That is fair.
Fair enough.
She's basically just gonna whip around into the gnome and be like, you said this would take a few hours with my fire, how fast can this go?
Well, the Hellfire it'll definitely speed things up. Probably come back in like 45 minutes or so. It should probably heat up the metal pretty fast there.
Then she's gonna whip around to the rest of the party and be like, take that as your hint to go.
Very
So she
direct.
kind of brings you behind, sort of like not right where he's working, but through like the passageway behind him that's kind of passed by metal fences, takes you to this big communal forge area. You go in there, just light the fires, and it's pretty impressive. And he comes back, he's like, all right, thank you for your work. And he's back.
As she leaves, she's looking around and taking in like all of the weaponry. And it's almost as if like she sees things that like catches her eye and she just slows down but like keeps moving. But like as she's walking by, she's just gonna slowly take in like all of the defenses, all of the offenses, and then slowly just kind of reach back and then keep walking.
Yeah, so you're definitely seeing just like row after row of just, again, various weaponry. This is where they build a lot of the weapons for the Empire. So you're seeing, again, various catapults, cannons, some weaponry that you are not even really familiar with. Like, you're like, could these be, like, some things look like enormous, huge crossbows that are like quadruple in size. Some of them are just like weird, inventive mechanical designs that you're just not even really sure what they're for or how they work. Maybe some of them are powered by magic, maybe not. But you're definitely just like, taking it all in.
Like as she takes it in, like if there are ones that, especially like whether they are like made to look a little bit more intimidating, just imagine that like behind her eyes, there's a very special gleam of interest.
Okay, walking back to the group, you all kind of just notice Margot just kind of looking at everything around her.
How far away was that spot that he went to work versus like the entrance that we're walking out of?
it was like 20 feet away or so. It wasn't that far behind.
Okay, cool. So as we're like walking out of the, you said there's people working all over the place.
There's various clumps of people, like some working on projects, guards, just kind of walking through the different assembly yard locations and things like that.
All right. So in Cliff's voice, Nebula, a little irritated with like Cliff's like kind of snapping in his face. As we're walking out, in Cliff's voice, you're gonna hear, "All right, boys, that's it for today. Enough work. Be back tomorrow." And just like stroll on out.
As you say that, you just hear a couple other gnomes just say, "Shut the fuck up, Cliff! We're not fucking working for you!" And just goes on about his day.
Great. So Cliff is not.
Is there a smile on Nebula's face as he does that?
For sure.
Sarah will take note of the smile. Do a bit of a smile and walking with you.
No, so like as we're leaving, Margot like goes to like she coughs, but like behind her hand, there's definitely like you see like a glint of a fang, and then slowly but surely she like regains her.
Oh, the crack in the armor.
Yeah. Okay.
Jules
Like
is
Cliff?
amused, but unsure why exactly he did that.
So Cliff is not in charge. Good to know.
We know who's in charge. It just may take an extra second of thinking there.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, so looking at the map Zara has provided, you kind of make your way sort of into the middle part of Hupperduke there, so not all the way back to where you had started, but in the middle section there. And
Are we off to the fire-marked facility? We're looking into the explosions, yes.
Yeah. You know,
Because I will mention as well, and he'll pull out the key that he got off of the kobold, and he say, "I did not think to maybe check the door when we first got there, but perhaps I'll revisit the prison to see if the prison door is what this key goes to, or maybe something more important."
Good point. And I think if we end up not being able to find out where this key takes us to, maybe we take it back to Cliff and maybe he can ascertain the make of it at least.
He says we have to revisit Cliff in 40 minutes, yes?
Yes.
Worthwhile then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems so.
Okay, so let's go find out where this key takes us to.
Then to the prison or to the fire march facility?
I think a visit to the prison won't be too long. I think if we go to the fire march facility, it seems a little heated down there. I think our friend Queen Margot would be very helpful there. So maybe bring her with us when we go back.
Ah, yes. I'd like to keep at least 50 feet away while visiting the explosives.
That's good call. Good call.
No, and she's just gonna resound his Phelan's sentiment and be like, "Good call."
He'll look at Margot. And he'll still do like the smile, the shitty little smile. He knows he's like poking fun, but also that bit of poking fun combined with, I understand you are all about blowing something up, and actually, I want to keep away from you.
So, to the prison?
Let's do prison.
Very
We're
briefly.
going back to prison.
Episode 2, Return to Prison. Campaign runs 2 episodes.
Prison. Okay, so you kind of think that like go back to this key that you had picked up from the kobold. Zara very much says like, what about this though? This might be something as well. We shouldn't just forget about this very important item. You kind of make your way back to the scene of the crime, back to Gear Hole Prison. And as you make your way through the streets, there's some guards there. There's a bit more, obviously. After this is just the next day, there's more guards that are kind of protecting the break from the prison wall. You see a few gnome workers on there starting to build it back up, like getting the bricks back in and the stonework back in to get it to sealing it up. So it's not as wide as it once were. It's definitely like closed in a bit, but enough that like if you wanted to, you could like sort of make your way to and from just for some of the gnome guards and things to be able to kind of make sure that everything's legit and okay in there. But as you kind of sidle up, you just come to some guards just working on the wall.
It's easiest if we can speak to a warden. He'll approach and be like, better, we'll approach the official entrance to the prison, not the hole in the wall. And Zara will, the first person who looks official, be like, perhaps there is a warden I can speak to.
Warden, what is this? What is this pertaining to?
He says, this is pertaining to the breakout that had happened but yesterday. He says, we are on official business pertaining to the...
Crown's Guard badges and everything.
Yes. Pertaining to the Crown's Guard. He says, there is a very brief questioning we need to have with either a warden or somebody who can show us the cell that was broken out of.
I want to go back to the cell. Okay. You said you have badges?
And he says, yes, of course. And he'll flash the golden King's Crown, or King's Guard badge, Crown's Guard, there it is. Crown's Guard badge.
Okay. Who sent you, man?
He said, we are on work on behalf of Bram. Says, I believe this is captain of the Crown's Guard locally here.
That is true. He's just not present at the moment.
He says, we will only be a few moments. He says, and you can see, if anything else, you can see this motley group of 6 stopped by to the next guards you see. Okay. He says, we do not wish to be here in secret.
Very well, then. Come with me to the entrance here, and then you kind of go off to the start, the beginning. Sorry, did you say you were already at the entrance there, Kanoa?
Yeah. Trying to go to the official entrance so we can walk down and really go to the prison door.
Gotcha. So you're at the entrance there, met by 2 guards.
The entire time, Margot's keeping an eye out for Washburn.
I know. I figured that would maybe a point to keep an eye out for.
The entire time, she's like, I smell that dirty rat somewhere.
Trust me, I want to talk to him too. When we get down to the prison door, it'll be a simple matter of he will, with no subtlety, he's just going to pull out the key from a satchel and see if it fits the door when locked.
To the back.
To the cell specifically that the Goliath was kept in that I forgot the name of.
Skin.
Right. So as you you meet the guards, they take you in through the entrance. And again, you're just met by sort of prison gate after prison gate. Different gnome Crown's guards are kind of letting you guys in through the different hallways and things like that. You come close to... So you wanted to speak to the warden specifically, or did you just want to go to that prison cell?
It is, if we run into the warden along the way, that's great. But if someone else leads me there...
Okay.
Literally osmosis in this bitch. Path of least resistance.
So yeah, showing the Crown's Guard badge, stating your case Bram is, you're here to help. They just kind of go through, and you kind of see as you're going by, there's 2 guards with you, and as they kind of lead you into the opening, 2 more kind of follow from behind you as 2 are leading you. And as you're kind of going through these various hallways, it takes you about 10, 15 minutes to kind of get there, but you just slowly are accompanied by 2, 4, 6 guards. They're there to kind of accompany you, but also they're just a lot of crazy shit's been going on lately, so they're a bit on edge more than usual. So you go to the scene of the crime, and you see some gnomes on the inside, trying to build up the wall from the inside as well. You take your key out, and you just want to put it in the gate.
If it's locked, he'll ask a guard or anybody nearby to make sure the door is locked first. He wants to confirm that, and he'll display a key. I want to make sure first that this key specifically fits this lock, because that is all I am here for. Once I check, we are happy to be escorted out of this facility.
All right. Whatever you say, sir. And then he comes up and big, huge circle of keys locks the gate. All yours.
Easy. And he'll try it. Does it work on this door?
Doesn't fit.
Easy peasy. And he says, it will appear that you've got some copies made. And he says, tell me, how many copies of this key are there supposed to be?
He said it doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit. Oh,
No.
even better. Well, way better than I thought. That's great. I says, all right then. In that case, I believe we are set. And he says, perhaps actually, and I'll hand the key down to the one that had the key ring. And he says, could you compare this to your keys, see if maybe it is similar to any? And he says, this is very important.
Takes out his ring keys, and all the keys on there are like fairly small for like, gnome sized. The one you have is slightly bigger.
Oh, okay. Yeah. After obviously being told that ain't the same shit, he'll take it back and he say, but I thank you very much for all the time you have spent humoring us. We're ready to be escorted out whenever you are prepared to lead us.
Okay. Sure, no problem. They just don't. It's like crazy gang of misfits coming in. We want to compare keys and try to key things in. They're just like, sure, all right.
Something. It's a wild 10 minutes, but it's only 10 minutes.
Exactly. You come inside and go back and lead you back out to the front of the gate, and you're back at the front of Gearhole Prison.
All right. And Zero will look at everyone and say, this key will have perhaps a greater importance up in the mountainside. And he'll just repocket it.
Yeah, no problem. So you've X'd that out for sure. The use of like where this key is from and its usefulness. You can kind of surmise that it didn't have anything to do with the prison break door and the cell anyway itself. Did you want to go back to pick up the box seeker? Or did you want to go to the Firemark facility?
Where do we prioritize, my friends?
I say let's pick up our little robot friend, and then on our way out of town, we can hit the Firemark facility and then head to the mountains. Hopefully, we can know what's going on.
Sounds like a solid plan.
Do it.
All right. Okay. So you make your way back across town, going through the various streets. At this point, it's like you started pretty early in the morning. Now it's getting to the afternoon. Probably like 1 or 2 in the afternoon or so. Make your way back to the assembly yard and again past the various crowns guards and people all working. And then you go back to the table there. You just see Clef just kind of ping, 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 just like shoving like the last leg of the Vox Seeker back into the body.
Well, hello, friend. We're back again.
Oh, you're here. All right, sorry, just trying to get this last part figured out. And just come, you stupid goddamn.
Okay.
Just screwing in this last leg, and it just kind of sits there lifeless, and it's like, okay, which one of you wants to control this weird freaking thing?
I believe this is good for it. And he'll motion towards Nebula. He's our good friend Brahm.
And Nebula will walk over and say, that'll work. What do I need to do?
Say a command word. Something you want to like turn on the creepy thing.
Any word
Cactus.
at all?
As soon as Galahad says a word after he said command word, the thing goes and the legs kind of spread out from being inanimate and become steady, and then he just drops it on the table, goes and just walks over on the ground and goes over to Galahad.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is.
And it kind of goes up on its legs like this, like ting, 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 ting.
Galahad, you didn't tell me you had a child.
I don't.
Galahad, you have crabs.
I don't know what that means.
as you pick up the Vox Seeker, it's just like its gears inside are kind of moving and hissing.
Is it purring?
I have no idea.
It seems it was meant for you and your cactus.
I just put it on my shoulder.
Just on your shoulder there. Clink, 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 clink. Go on the shoulder. Clink, clink. Just sitting there perched like a cat.
This is well, most excellent. What were we planning on doing with such creature? He kind of looks expectantly to
Cliff.
No. He looks expectantly to Jules and Margot. And he says, excellent. So what is this supposed to do again?
So I'm going to send you the Vox Seeker stat block in the Discord chat. But basically,
He's asking what it's meant to do.
what's that?
He's asking these two what it's meant to do, and he's like, all right, we have it.
He said it was like a companion. It must be just a second set of eyes that happen to have 8 additional legs attached.
I see, but relating to the investigation.
Why don't we tell it to go where it was created?
Oh, I see. Yes, let's try that. He says no.
Galahad,
No.
can you tell your robotic crab thing to go back to where it was made?
Didn't Cliff mention that it would not have the same mind on memories as it did before?
Yeah, I asked about this earlier, and he said might, but probably will not work. He said this is.
Well, we can write on probability.
Oh, I see. Okay. Says Galahad, can you ask this of the creature?
Do you know how to return home, little cactus?
And then you have it, you're holding it kind of in front of you like this, with its legs kind of drooped down.
Yeah.
And its legs kind of start spindling out like.
I think you need to let it go.
Put it on the ground.
Just jumps back on the table where Cliff had just.
He says, I think we found our culprit. And he points to Cliff.
Dara.
He says, looks at Marcus, this is a joke. Please do calm. And he pulls out the key. And he says, Cliff, will you do me a great favor? He says, could you tell anything about this key, origin, anything of the like? I do not wish to take up your time, but any information pertaining to this will help us greatly.
And you go to Cliff as he's just kind of banging away on still working on that glider, just finishing it up. You give him the key. Key? I ain't seen no fucking key like that in my entire life.
It is large for Nomen locks.
That is true. It's a big key.
Yes, but perhaps you, who knows most of metallurgy, can tell us perhaps where this came from, where it was perhaps forged. As you seem to know more than anybody else I can even think of. I've never seen somebody so skilled in the sophistication of forming such devices. Surely you know something, yes?
Make a persuasion check.
While this is happening, can Margot go over and grab Cactus the crab and and just hold it, and she walks over to Jules, just kind of around Jules, and she's flipping it around, turning it upside down, just checking it out. She goes, I've seen a lot of things in many of my years, but this is a bit different.
I can agree with you on that one. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this.
How does it function? And she starts almost tickling its stomach. So she's and then quickly hands it off to Jules.
Flies over to you. just starts to crawl up your arm, up into your shoulder.
Jules is just frozen and is like, Galahad 5, will you please help me?
It's on your head now. Its legs just.
Sure.
Margot's
Galahad.
Margot's like careful your eye. It's
I pick up
Jules is
Cactus.
just has her eyes closed and like is like, Galahad 5, please remove the crab.
I take Cactus the crab
Off the head.
and I give him to Nebula.
And Nebula takes it and says, "Oh, no, I'm fairly certain it's bonded to you now."
I mean,
I'm not sure if the command word only works with me. Maybe you should try it. I mean, you did pay for it. I was just suggesting the word. I didn't know this would happen.
Nebula will set it down and say, "Cactus."
It turns off.
How big is the crab? You said it's like dinner plate size?
Yeah.
Excellent. While it's off, the Nebula is going to say to Cliff, "What all could it do for us? Any commands we give it, how much should we expect this thing to be capable of? I assume you've added your own personal touches, so what we saw before might not be exactly what we have now."
So I'll just tell you from inspecting the Vox Seeker and just sort of it's in your possession now. I put the stat block into the Discord there. But as a creature, it's a tiny construct. It has 7 hit points. It's 14 armor class. Has immunities to poison, psychic for damage. It has a few condition immunities, like it can't bleed, blinded, charmed, defend, a whole bunch of stuff. Has voice lock, can move toward the attack and attack the source of the nearest voice within 60 feet of it, to the exclusion of all other targets, as long as it remains optional. It has spider climb, so the Vox can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. It has 1 attack, pincer, plus 2 to hit. Does 1d4 damage plus 3 lightning damage.
Whoa.
Okay.
Shocking.
So Nebula will take that and will say, basically assuming Cliff just told him most of that in game, and say, "All right," and then he will. Do I detect? So it's a small construct, but I don't detect any spatial magic or anything of the sort. Correct?
No, not at all.
Okay. Then Nebula is going to say, "Cactus." And he's going to swing his bag around to the side. So his bag he has a big satchel, it's a bag of holding, that sits on the back of him. And he swings it to the side and opens it up. Now it's large enough that he's got things like a crossbow in there, a longbow and such. And he's going to kneel down and he's going to say, "Hop on in, little bud."
Before it gets there, Zara will turn back around and say, "Cactus."
Hops up, falls on the ground.
"This is great fun. You found a very fine toy. Cactus."
Starts walking towards Zara.
Now,
Says,
Nebula is
"Come
going to
with
say,
me. It's in bag. What are you doing?"
as it starts approaching, Nebula is going to say, "Stop."
Just starts crawling up your leg.
It appears whoever has activated them last has the commands. And he will wait until it's in the bag, and then he will say, "Cactus."
You don't hear any noise coming out of the bag.
Perhaps this is best to whoever needs it first.
And then Nebula is going to say to Cliff, "Now say we wanted to change that word, perhaps something a little more discreet. How would we go about that on our own?"
Oh yes, because nothing's quite as discreet as going cactus in the middle of his common sentence.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Some of us may be discussing some important matters.
And
Nothing
as he's
says help. I'm being held up at knife point. Cactus. Quite so discreet.
There are several ways in which to die, some of which involve some cactus.
So as you guys are asking Cliff, he's just, again, hammering away on this metal for this glider. He's getting pretty close to finishing it now, and he goes, why the fuck won't you leave me the fuck alone? Look, I did what you wanted. I gave you the goddamn metal crab. Please leave me the goddamn alone!
I will take that as a guess that you cannot.
Fair
kill.
enough. And we start, Nebula will get up, close the bag. It's always loosely closed, like just kind of flap over, and starts walking.
Thank you, Mr. Clef.
Thank you for
Is
Just audible sigh.
is Rissa around?
Riss has been working things on like beside him, like on other projects and things, but she's just been kind of like, doesn't really want to be involved in the conversations you're having.
I see. All right. He'll just lightly bow, still smiling. Say, I hope you have a wonderful day, Mr. Cliff. Thank you for this. Cactus, he says. And he says, climb on top of his head. This is wonderful. And as he walks out, he's just basically like throwing bullshit commands after saying cactus.
So as you say that, nothing happens.
Did it just...
He'll try it again. He'll say, wait a second, it'll not climb, cactus. Climb.
As we're walking out of the yard, Nebula will reach into the bag to grip it. And if it's there, he would be able to find it. So does he find it?
Yeah, you're able
Cool.
to find it.
And he lifts it out of the bag and says, and I assume, it was activated when it crawled in. Is it still active or deactive?
He says,
Now hold on. I want to confirm something. You were the last one to speak when it entered the bag, pointing at Zara. And so Nebula will say, move all of your legs at the same time.
or perhaps it would be funnier to climb atop the fan here. Climb to his head.
Comes out of your hands and goes onto the top of your head.
Oh, what is it that you have in that bag? Makes things not listen.
I didn't imagine that would be a problem.
And he says, perhaps you have a bag of listening instead of this, and he'll like, kind of come over and like peek in the bag if he can.
Do you let him do that, Nebula?
You can pull away, but like he's kind of like being
Nebula would like swing the bag and swing his body because it's on his back. So he basically turns to face him.
He says, "Oh, man of many secrets, I see."
May I roll an
All
arcana?
right. You keep your robot then, man of many secrets.
May I roll an arcana check to see if I would recognize this as said bag of holding?
All the time, Margot's in the back going, we started on a mission. Why are we now arguing about who has crab?
He says, we spent 40 extra minutes for crab. This was on your choice.
It was to help, not to toy with.
Oh, I see. Well then, please do. And he motioned towards the crab on top of his head. He says, make it help, if you would. Or at least tell me what to say.
Here, if you want to help, stop saying anything. At
Oh.
all. Ever.
How did that Arcana check go?
I haven't rolled it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, Linz.
That's a dirty 20.
So yeah, seeing his bag, just putting two together, that should not have worked that way. What other kind of magical bags could one have on them? Probably surmising it's a bag of holding.
Okay, I'm just gonna give Nebula another one of Jules' knowing looks. Like, I know what you're up to, funny man. I know what's going on here. Yeah.
All right. So at this point, Nebula, you're kind of getting the sense that Jules here is very much, picking up on what you're laying down a bit quicker than the others.
Cool. Then I'm going to do one thing simply because Jules has made an active, visible thing. Because Jules is nodded like, I get what you're up to. Nebula's not super down with that. Like, just because when other people know about him, that's fine. But he's sort of sus of everything.
Sus.
Nebula is going to use one of his divine sense. It's just sort of his go-to anytime anything weirds him out because his whole job is extraplanar nonsense. So, using one of his divine sense, he will sense anything affected by the hollow spell, know the location of a celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet. That is not behind total cover. What do I get?
That's a very good question.
So say it again, it's fiend?
Fiend, undead, celestial, or the hallow spell.
Within 60 feet, not behind cover.
Not behind total cover.
Yeah.
So this is a weird...
So you kind of instinctively getting that look from Hendrix, and she just kind of like giving a nod, and you just kind of really, and you kind of just instinctively your eyes kind of switch from normal viewage to this kind of almost like a magical infrared that just changes. And kind of, if anyone was able to pick up on this, instead of normal eyes, like Nebula's eyes are pretty, like your eyes are pretty black, right?
My eyes are luminescent purple.
Luminescent purple. So it's luminescent purple that you guys have been seeing from now on. But instead of his eyes kind of blinking normally, it blinks this way for a split second. And this different sort of very light purple filter just takes over your initial range of 60 feet. And you look over at everyone, and there's kind of auras to depict kind of what that kind of vibe is like, you know what I mean? You're kind of looking over everybody else, and everyone's auras are very clean, of a white spectrum, nothing weird or sus or anything. And you have in your own mind like colors associated with undead, fiend, that kind of thing. You look over to Hendrix's direction. There is a very, very thin, slight outline around them. But it's a color that doesn't make sense. Not particularly one thing or the other. It's almost like a few of those things you're detecting, the colors they represent, are all mashing together.
And so Nebula has turned back and is facing Zara, who is just trying to reach in the bag, and then gets that nod for a moment from Hendrix, experiences that color, and after a long pause, just kind of looks at the group for a second again. Because now there's a dragonborn he's encountered twice. A tiefling with an aura he's unfamiliar with. And he just kind of puts his eyes back to normal and continues walking. But is going to allow himself to drift to the back of the pack. As we make our way. And Nebula is now looking at all of these teammates with a new sense of suspicion. Because he's like, is this whole party my job?
Cool, you're in it now.
This is all just one big game among us. I'm sorry, I ruined it. Yeah,
He's looking
figured
at
it out.
everybody suspiciously.
Galahad and electrical guys, all right, doing tasks.
He's looking at everybody suspiciously. Zimmer will eventually look back at him and be like, "Tell me, Brom, why do you look like the night sky? 'Cause I've never seen somebody look quite so unique."
Again, he's not Brom. He said that he is Nebula. Why?
Oh,
why-
sorry. What did you go by? Or is it Brom? Braham? What was
Graham?
his name?
Graham.
Ah, Graham. Sorry, I knew he was not Brom. This is Graham. He says, "Tell me, why do you think Graham looks like the night sky?"
He's a changeling.
He says, "Well, perhaps we are all changing morning. But in the middle of the day when tying one's shoes, now that is interesting."
I'm gonna look dead at Margot and go, "He's an idiot."
And she's gonna turn right back to Jules and be like, "Remember what I said about the not talking being the most helpful? Example A."
Hey, since I'm not where to know where this A is, but if you have any B's, perhaps even D's around these parts, I am happy to oblige.
I have no idea what's going on right now.
Well, do not worry, my friend. I will explain it later. Everyone here seems a bit used except for me.
That's fair. That's also just kind of like my general state of being. I'm just kind of very confused.
It's just not the point, please.
Margot's gonna
Yeah,
turn
that's
around
nice.
to Jules and just be like, "Is this what it is to be blissfully so ignorant?"
I wouldn't call it ignorant. I would call it content.
I'd call
He
it.
says, "I would not even call it content." He says, "Perhaps it is about time some of you saw some bliss." Yes. But I digress. Are we going to see the explosions or no?
At this point, I'd be more than happy to see some explosions.
And he says, "Oh, this is most excellent and not at all threatening. Let us go then."
So you guys have made some headway towards the Firemark facility as you've been having these conversations and kind of walking through. As you approach this brown and red brick building, you notice that it's a lot larger than you expected. Its black iron roof stretches over a massive compound. And as you approach, you kind of smell that scent of sulfur and blasting powder that's familiar from the prison cell. It's very faint on the air here. And as you are starting to draw closer to the entrance, the door opens itself, and a very familiar person walks out of it with white salt pepper hair, red sash scarf, long flowing black coat, and black leathers.
Hey!
Most useful.
Jacuz.
Why not speaking? Yes. Here, I think you can handle this all yourself. And he'll and like hold the key out to Margot, the imaginary key out to Margot, and then just kind of like drop it on the ground in front of him, and give a shitty little bow, and motion over to our favorite boy coming out of the facility.
As soon as Washburn connects eyes with all of you and then at Margot, you just hear under his breath, "Oh, fuck." And that's where we're going to end tonight's session, guys.
It's my boy!
Okay, well, thank you guys all so much for watching our session 2 of Vaylai. God damn, it is a pleasure to watch you all roleplay. Seriously, this is amazing. Thanks again, everybody who are in the chat all night. Really appreciate it. And for anyone who subbed tonight, followed tonight, thank you very much as well. We'll do a little outro for our players here. If they got anything they want to plug, now is the time. We'll start with Hale.
I will be making more cosplay content on my Instagram and TikTok soon. So if you are, if not already subscribed to my TikTok, be prepared to see that in the upcoming future. My art commissions are currently closed as I finish up my current queue, but I am hopeful that by the end of October they will be reopened. So keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, you will see me bopping around the internet under Red Queen Hales.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love your artwork, by the way. I got to get some stuff from you soon.
Thank you.
Kanoa.
Yeah, hey, so my name is Kanoa Daddy. I'm not going to take too much of your fucking time, but I'm also a streamer. I stream Dungeons & Dragons only one night a week on Friday nights, 9 p.m. EST, which is, 6 Pacific? If you guys ever want to drop by, show some love, I try to put as much interactivity as possible for the viewers on there. I would love to see you guys just pop in any of these sessions.
Fun.
It would be a blast to have you. And of course, I stream 4 other nights per week. I would love to have you guys there. Just come in sometimes, twitch.tv/Kanoa Daddy.
Road to partner, my friend. Road to partner.
We just applied to partner 3 days ago. We've been averaging 110 viewers. If you guys ever come in and just chill, that is helping me significantly. You don't even have to say anything if you don't want to.
All right. And then Ozzy.
G'day, g'day. Again, just Aussie Warlock on TikTok and Instagram. I am also on Twitch at the Aussie Warlock on Instagram. On Twitch. My brain's already short-circuited from the crab. I'm sorry. Yeah, working through The Witcher 3 as soon as I get over my Conan Exiles addiction. But yeah, that's it from me.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. And Corso.
Yeah, I'm D&D Corso. I'm on TikTok and Twitch. On Twitch, I actually run a new style D&D game that I've created called Melee Ball. It is taking all of combat and putting it into essentially Quidditch for D&D, and I'm going to be doing that on Mondays. There's a special game I'm doing this Thursday because we're playtesting it. So Thursday at 7, you can find that on my channel, D&D_Corso, and then every other Monday, although we might become every Monday depending on how well you guys are attending. And it'll be an awesome game. Moose has been in there and helped play test it, and I'm hoping to get a lot more of the folks here today in. And right now on my Twitch, I am 7 people away from being able to apply for affiliate status. So if you guys are here, please help me roll over that, and I need 7 more followers.
Go show Nebula some support for being so sus. Do it.
You said
Nebula, we saw a Nebula event.
You said it was you stream at 7. What?
7 p.m.
time?
Central Standard Time.
Cool.
There you go.
DM me your end time schedule and things like that too, if you can sometime, mate.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, Corso. And then we got Linz.
So do you like shiny math rocks? Because I make those, and tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I shall be restocking with 10 whole sets of dice. My prices are $15 to $25-ish, so they're relatively on the cheaper end when it comes to fabulous, wonderful dice. So if you guys enjoy that, please show up. If you're dead set on any of the dice that I've made over the past month on my TikTok, which is Yerpy11, make sure you get there early because I sell out ridiculously fast, and I would love for you to get whatever you want.
Good problem to have, I think.
Indeed, I would agree with you on that one.
All right, last but certainly not least, Super Go.
Yes. So you can find me over at all the wonderful places. So Twitch and TikTok at the Super Goat. And actually this upcoming weekend, Saturday at around 3 p.m. Pacific Standard and 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be running my next episode of Super Splash of Color series over at the Bard Community College. So you can find me playing with a wonderful crew of people of color D&D TikTok creators, and we get to enjoy our time and have some wonderful laughs. So come on by.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you all for lending me your time this evening. Really, really appreciate it. Tune in next time. Next Monday or next week, we have the second part of A Village Called No one-shot that's happening on Monday. So I think for these guys, we'll probably skip that week and then maybe continue on the next week or the week after, depending on what schedule I have on for the other campaign that I'm doing. So just tune into @Dicecream Sandwich on socials for when that date will be. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, obviously. And yeah, guys, thank you guys so much. And we'll see you on the next episode of The Phalai.
Thank you.
Woo! Yay!
Bye.
This is the joy to dance. This is the joy to dance to see if Jordy.